Right, hello everyone, and welcome to League Review. We're not League Review, Global Global League of Legends podcast. I'm your host William, and we totally didn't just restart because I showed Ryan's top 10 power rankings 30 seconds into the podcast. Nope, did not happen. But yeah, what I mentioned before is that we're running a little late today. I had mentioned previous podcast I was going to be up north in the wilderness, no internet. So I didn't have any chance to catch up. Ryan did actually leave me a lot of detailed notes, which was really awesome by him to provide me with detailed notes, so I at least somewhat sound like I know what I'm talking about. Yeah, we had a lot of crazy games this week in all of the regions except for LEC, obviously. But yeah, let's get started. It'll be a fairly quick podcast, unlike before, because we will be doing this podcast at 11 p.m. instead of 8 p.m. So yeah, we gotta speed it up a little bit. It won't be 7 hours like before. Hopefully, Nemraptor gets back. Let me pull this here because I do have one thing I need to check off screen and Twitch. So okay, so let's go to the LCS. You got you. Thank you. I figured I didn't want to spoil everything in like the first minute of the podcast. We got stuff to do at 8, so in 2.5 hours. Yep, that will probably be about as long as the podcast because I got work in the morning and it's already 11. So hypothetically, if we did a 7-hour podcast, it'd be 6 a.m. and I go to work at 8. So wouldn't be that great. So let's talk briefly. And I didn't get a chance to watch all the games because, like I said, I was up north in the wilderness, no internet, just got back. I see no problem with that. No problem whatsoever. All right, LCS. Yeah, I'll just sleep on the job. All right, so the LCS today and yesterday and Friday was a little insane, to put it mildly. I didn't even finish marking these, but that one was also wrong. So me and Ryan had a solid 3-7 and 2-8 record this week. Did anyone else see Dignitas 100 Thieves going 2-0 and C9 dropping the game? Nope. Yeah, if you thought week 4 of the LEC was bad, you have no words for LCS. Yeah, LCS was really rough for predictions. I really wish I would have trusted my gut. I have proof on Strafe, I'm not going to show it, that I actually did indeed pick Dignitas over Immortals and CLG over EG, but I failed to trust my gut for the second week in a row. That is 4 games in a row now for the last 2 weeks that if I would have just trusted my gut, we wouldn't have to deal with this type of ugly red. I'll just say I would have been 9-1 here and at least 5-5. You know, at least a successful 5-5 in this massacre. But let's just briefly go over. Dignitas beat Immortals in game number 1. I mean, obviously, IMT did go 2-0. IMT did not go 2-0. They went 1-1. 100 Thieves went 2-0. 100 Thieves took down FlyQuest. Golden Guardians took down Evil Geniuses. C9 took down TSM. Team Liquid took down CLG. Fairly normal. A little bit of upset. Like, Dignitas Immortals, that's a toss-up. 100 Thieves upsetting FlyQuest, sure. Golden Guardians is not that big of an upset against Evil Geniuses. That's very 50-50. So it's not terrible, but we're just getting all the picks wrong, you know? We're just losing those 50-50 coin flips. C9, totally normal against TSM. Team Liquid over CLG, normal. Then it gets really weird. Dignitas beats FlyQuest. Immortals beats TSM, who actually had a pretty damn good game against C9. 100 Thieves takes down C9. And Team Liquid takes down Golden Guardians, which is back to normal. And then CLG upsets Evil Geniuses. So today was the really weird day. You could argue that day 1 and day 2 are upsets, but they're not. Oh my god, this is the biggest upset of all time. Speaking of which, this isn't wildcard related, or this is wildcard related, so it should be later in the podcast. Mammoth took down Legacy and Chiefs, the number 1 and number 2 team in the OPL, in the same freaking week. biggest weekend upset of all time. We'll talk about that with the wildcards. But yeah, so If you want to save time, you can skip wildcards once. No, we never skip wildcards. I love my wildcards. I've always loved my wildcards. We're talking about a wildcard here in NA. But the two winners this week were definitely, you could say, is 100 Thieves and Dignitas, because they both pull off very surprising 2-0s. I would give a nice shout out to Team Liquid. Now, you might say, like, well, they only beat Golden Guardians and CLG, but Team Liquid looked much, much better in their games. Impact on Shen against CLG. There's one, it was just complete draft difference in general, but it was actually finally Impact not enting and running it down. And CLG actually had replaced Ruin as well, and they still lost. So, and it wasn't really anything the other top laner could do. It just Impact Shen was, if you have a problem with someone running it down so hard, you give him a champion that literally cannot die. And obviously Impact is known for his very spicy Shen at the same time. So, like, not only that, but it was like an invincible Shen. It was so clean. I was very happy. They were a little slow at closing the game out, but I'm okay with it. Team Liquid in general just looked a lot better than they normally do. But the two big winners here, 100 Thieves and Dignitas. Dignitas first took down Immortals, which was very nice to see. It's what we finally wanted to see out of this Dignitas team. Dardoch playing aggressive, but not stupid aggressive like in the previous games. Gave him a little more time to develop with the team, I think. Not that Dardoch needs necessarily time to develop, but the synergy with the team. And then you finally just had Johnson and Aphromoo finally get their moment to pop off in a victory. And they took down Immortals. It was very nice. Immortals actually looked really bad that game, which Ryan had a hunch later on. He had mentioned that Immortals might have not put a lot of prep into Dignitas and put all their prep into TSM, and vice versa, with TSM not putting a lot of prep into Immortals and put all their prep into C9, because Immortals looked really bad against Dignitas, but looked great against TSM. On the other hand, TSM looked really great actually against Cloud9, I thought, but they looked terrible against Immortals. So it is one of those classic trap games where they put all their attention on one specific game of the week. Neb says NA as well at the... You never win except for C9 games. We will give them benefit of doubt, but other teams, 0k gold lead means nothing. Ocean Soul, nothing. Our 10k gold lead means nothing. Ocean Soul, just a state of mind. Elder Drake's with Baron with inhibs exposed. Mere obstacles. Yeah. Yep. But I was very impressed with the way Dignitas composed themselves, because then not only did they go and beat Immortals, they just took down FlyQuest as well. And then on top of that, 100 Thieves taking down FlyQuest, which this is right before this is really bad for NA for predictions, because this is the mid-season power rankings prediction podcast. So we're going to be talking about that as well. And this is like the health inspector makes a surprise visit at certain restaurants. 100 Thieves and Dignitas, they got tipped off and they knew, so they made everything flawless. FlyQuest and Evil Geniuses and TSM just completely caught off guard. There's rats everywhere. there's dust and grime everywhere, and they completely fail on the final week. But yeah, it was quite a flip. This week completely flipped my power rankings a lot. And good job by and Phoenix. It's a trick treatment. Why aren't teams pushing them off of 0? Yeah, I don't know. I don't necessarily think, Dignitas looked really, really good. I'm more sold on 100 Thieves than I am Dignitas, if that makes sense. If I had to choose a team that I'm sold on that will be able to continue this really good win streak, because they have the 2 longest win streaks in the league outside of Team Liquid. I think Dignitas could get exposed a little bit more, where 100 Thieves, I'm really, really, really excited. Boom. Oh my god. I love this guy. Also, contracts. Where did these contracts come from? This is like his first year in the league level of contracts. Meteos is never going to get a job again, on 100 Thieves at least. I think that is completely cement in stone after this week. I mean, I thought it was cement, like cement in stone, set in stone. What? I am tired. Set in stone this week. With his tweets and stuff, that was very disrespectful. But then not only that, having contracts pop off this well, like it's over. Like contracts is the jungler for the rest of the year, easily. Like, Contracts just outplayed Blabber and C9 like crazy. And that, I literally thought that was near impossible for any other NA team. Like, I am so impressed by 100 Thieves. I legitimately think 100 Thieves can 100% turn their season around now with Contracts and Poom. Like, that's a 3-game win streak, puts them at 4-6 on the year. They were 1-6 before this team, or they were 1-5 when these two came in. Their first game was against CLG, but they didn't have a lot of practice, and they kind of lost. And, CLG does things like that. They win games they're not supposed to, I guess. And Poom is also not in LA, I found out. So he's playing on high ping. So, like, imagine when he gets lower ping. I don't know how high the ping is, and for pro play, I'd guess it could matter a lot more than here in solo queue. Sorry. But, yeah, very impressive all around. Biggest losers this week were FlyQuest and Evil Geniuses. Terrible. So he just smirked on LCS at 60 ping. Yeah, basically. Like, that's what's the most exciting thing is that I think it's well, it's not exciting because of coronavirus, but like once he gets to actually LA, like it might be even better for these results that 100 Thieves are showing. Someday, I haven't seen Someday on that Jace. I was watching the highlights from the FlyQuest game. I haven't seen Someday at that level in about 2 years. That was peak Someday in NA when it was a battle between Someday, Licorice as a rookie, and Impact as like the number 1 top laner, and like that was some clean play by him. By the way, every time I praise a player, they just get smashed instantly against someone I would take them over. Who did you praise this week that got smashed? Because that happens all the time with me and Ryan. Like last week we talked about Fly versus 100 Thieves. Oh, you were saying solo. Yeah. He just got absolutely wrecked. I remember that now. It happens all the time, man. Ryan literally goes through existential crises because everything he picks or everything he mentions on the podcast, he has like moments where like, okay, this should happen, this player will step up, blah blah blah. This team fails, that player completely sucks. This team fails, like everything falls apart. AKA Shulka as a 4. Oh man. All right, so yeah. Evil Geniuses and FlyQuest are consistently dropping games now. Evil Geniuses has not looked good since their Team Liquid win, I believe. Let's see. Evil Geniuses beat Immortals, but like, let's be fair, that was really close. They beat Dig. They lost to TSM. Yeah, Evil Geniuses have not looked good since week 2. Let's be honest. Their only wins since week 2 are a floundering Dig, an Immortals team that was on the rise, but it was a very close match. And their losses are to FlyQuest, TSM, Golden Guardians, and now CLG. So they're losing to all the middle of the pack teams right now. At this week, I'm not even sure on an NA tier list besides C9 number 1 and TL second because they are inconsistent. Yep. Our entire, like, me and Ryan were talking over phone, or not over phone, but over Discord on my way back. And I'm like, okay, so I know for a fact I have C9 number 1, Team Liquid number 2. Spoiler alert, but I don't think that's much of a spoiler whatsoever. And the rest of it, question mark. You'll be in for a ride. These power rankings are quite spicy. With the way me and Ryan both think about power rankings differently, they're quite different actually. A little bit the same, but not too much. Yeah, so without further ado, I guess we should do some mid-season power rankings. Since I've already spoiled the top, I'm sure this is totally fine, and none of you saw this coming. I have C9 number 1, Ryan has C9 number 1. I have Team Liquid number 2, Ryan has Team Liquid number 2. That is a stay still for C9, obviously. One hiccup is okay. I don't think it's that big or the end of the world for them. It's a best of one. It kind of happens. All TSM had to do was not get smurfed on by Smithy Graves. Yeah, really. I made it. Thanks for no notification, Twitch. Hey, Ryan, how are you? We're doing our power rankings. We're going slightly backwards, but only for the top two. Because the top two are very, very obvious. I wanted to point out that part of my shout out to what's their face, Team Liquid, is also because they're winning these games. Like, sometimes they're struggling. Like, obviously, they're definitely a tier or two below C9 in my opinion, but they're winning the games, which has actually put them a full tier ahead of all of these other teams. TSM dropped to Immortals. Team Liquid was close to Immortals, but they won it. And I think previously, before this week, Team Liquid was kind of looking like the Spring Split Immortals, where they really didn't deserve many of their wins, like, to be fair. Like, they were kind of lucked out into quite a few of them. But this week, they looked a lot better, and they're showing improvement that we're not seeing from any of the other big level teams. We're seeing that improvement down here with the 100 Thieves, Dignitas, and Immortals, and somewhat Golden Guardians as well. Like, these four teams are improving right now, I would say. But FlyQuest is on a downfall. Evil Genius is on a massive downfall since week 2. CLG is CLG. They're neither in a downfall or an upswing because they are just CLG. What Ryan just mentioned, TL actually played proactively and are finding their identity. That means no. They're being taken because it was not right there when I made that count. That's actually funny. We need more TL weekends like this. I absolutely agree. This weekend was very promising as a Team Liquid fan in general, like, and just an NA fan and a Team Liquid fan. They looked very proactive. There's still some mistakes to be made, but compared to probably, I would say their week 2 or week 3, hell, even week 2, like literally all season except for week 1 against TSM, they were really proactive. Then they were kind of shaky against Golden Guardians. Then they were really shaky against 100 Thieves, but they pulled it back. Then they were embarrassingly bad against Evil Geniuses. Like, they were just really slow, not doing anything, and just slowly beating teams out their own mistakes, which we know does not work whatsoever at the world stage. You're not sold on Broxah. I agree. I think, and even watching the squad episode today, it seems like there might, in my eyes at least, and I saw it on some YouTube comments, there could be some synergy issues with Broxah and the team. I'm hoping, which seems really weird because Broxah's not like a Dardoch type player. He's very, very nice. It just seems like they're not meshing as a team in general. That's just from pure perspective in general. So I'm hoping that gets fixed because I feel like Broxah can be a good player, but I think he's struggling this split a lot. And having Impact step up, I would say Impact was struggling a lot more than Broxah, but having Impact step up this weekend put a bigger spotlight on Broxah now to hopefully step up even more on top of that. If Impact can do it, I'm sure Broxah can do it. But all in all, 8-2, and they are the biggest winners of this entire weekend because not only did they go 2-0, team, oh my god, TSM, I was gonna say Team Liquid, and then like my brain exploded. TSM went 0-2, FlyQuest went 0-2, Evil Geniuses went 0-2. So the 3 teams that you were fighting for that second/third spot, you gained 2 full games on all 3 of them. That is like so rare to actually happen just off of like statistics alone, because usually one of you will be facing each other, you know what I mean? But it happened to be a week where none of those 4 teams face each other, and every single ball bounced Team Liquid's way. Like, not even that. Not only that, Cloud9 also lost the game. So now you are also only one game. You lose the tiebreaker, but you're only one game away from being tied for first. So, like, you're in a really, really good spot to seal one of these top 2 spots, which is the most important thing on the entire year. Because if you seal top 2 spot, you go to summer playoffs here, you'll notice that top 2 will start right here and here, I believe, right? So you not only do you get an extra loss, but you only need to win one best of 5 and you go to Worlds. That's it. One best of 5 gets you the Worlds. So 100 Thieves could definitely come for them. But the issue with 100 Thieves is they're already down 4 full games on Team Liquid. So with only 8 games left, that is very hard to make up. They put themselves in a massive hole to start the year. like we're just talking Team Liquid wins against 100 Thieves here or something, or like if Team Liquid wins against 100 Thieves here, it's over for them. Like it's completely over to get second place. Yeah, this is 100 Thieves after just 1 full week of practice. I agree. 100 Thieves, I am very, very excited for. Okay, yeah, let's go back to our power rankings. So let's start back at the bottom after we know that these 2 are the top 2. Number 10, let me pull up here. That's not the right one. That's also not the right one. Wow. 4th time's the charm when there's only 4 options, right? All right, number 10 team for Ryan and me is both Immortals. IMG is not the team I was going for, but IMT is. They have dropped for me. They were 9th. For Ryan, they stayed the same. They were 10th. This feels like a kind of an unfair, necessarily, 10th, because they had been improving so much. And this is their baseline. They're saying, oh yeah, they're talking about 100 Thieves. I'll talk about that. It's like, but Immortal seems to be improving so much recently. They finally got a win. Since they put this roster in, they are they put this roster in week 3. They are 2-4, which doesn't sound good, but they played okay. They played really well against Team Liquid and Evil Geniuses. They didn't play too well against Cloud9, but no one really does except for this new 100 Thieves team. They didn't play well against Dignitas, so they have 2 bad losses, 2 good losses, and 2 good wins, which is much better than what you could say with the initial Immortals 0-4 lineup did. 0-4 with 4 terrible losses. So it is an improvement for sure, but they've put themselves in a hole with 100 Thieves skyrocketing up. This is making the hole harder and harder to actually make playoffs. And there is 8 teams that make playoffs, to be fair, but you're already 2 games out of just making playoffs itself at the moment. Yeah, even this Immortal team could go 8th or 7th place. Russ is a bit better, and honestly, teams play so sloppy that for any of the 6 out of 8 spots, I could see any team taking them. I think this Immortals team is much, much better. Even though they've dropped in my rankings, they're a much better team than where they were in my preseason, which is good because that means as a whole, the LCS has moved up. I'm not going to say we're anywhere outside of 4th out of the major regions, but we've moved up compared to Spring Split quite a large margin, in my opinion. Dig start no 6 going to and start on Phoenix. Yep. So number 9 for Ryan is Evil Geniuses. He has dropped these, plummeted them all the way. He previously had them at 6. Now he has dropped them all the way to 9th. And I also have Evil Geniuses as my number 9 team. Woo. We're both dropped. I had Evil Geniuses as the 5th place team. You had as a 6. Yeah, I am kind of done with this team, in my opinion. like I mentioned this earlier, Evil Geniuses has not even looked remotely good since week 2. They looked great in week 1 where they perfect game CLG. They crushed 100 Thieves. And then they lost to C9. And then they crushed Team Liquid. And then what have they done since? Kumo is back in his early spring form. Agreed. Svenskeren got out jungled. I've never seen someone get out jungled as hard as he did in a while as closer. Just absolutely destroyed him on the Lee Sin versus Trundle matchup. Like, Svenskeren just got outplayed so hard. And Jizuke was fine for the first game this weekend, but in the second he just mega ended. Yep, I agreed. He just mega ended against CLG. Their bot lane Bang is just not. He's just not playing well. I feel like he's. What was it? I feel like, was he on Aphelios this weekend? I'm trying to remember. I watched a lot of games this weekend today in my car, so I wasn't driving. But like, man, it was. I felt like he entered really hard. He played Ezreal in the second. I feel like he was just not doing anything, if that makes sense. It wasn't that game because he did 52k damage. I think it was the first game they played against Golden Guardians. He played Ezreal in both games. He played against Aphelios. Even though he did 46k damage, it did not feel like he was doing anything, in my opinion. I thought like FBI on the Aphelios was doing so much more. Demonte, even though he was 1-6, felt like he was making a really big impact with a lot of those Lissandra ults. But it mostly, let's be honest, it was mostly just closer, just carrying the game in general. Okay. Yeah, that was the thing. Oh, that was it. That was the thing that made me so upset was the QSS over nothing at Baron, and then they lost that fight. Yeah, and then they immediately lost that fight. Like, oh man. I don't know, man. Evil Geniuses is just Jizuke banging friends. Well, that's tough to say because I mean, going into Spring Split, Svenskeren was the league MVP, like the defending league MVP. Zeyzal was okay on C9. Kumo was the big question mark, but then they picked up Huni. I'm curious if Huni starts this week. I'm very curious about that. But if they do that, they have to bench a Jizuke or Bang. And I don't know if they'll do that. Sounds like Froggen and Friends in Spring. Will not start. Yeah, because they would have to bench Jizuke or Bang. And Jizuke's definitely been their best player. Even though he's had a few ending games, I still feel like he's been their best. Since Garen's been really rough this split, I feel like really, really rough. Oh, has he been looking sloppy in Academy? I don't. Weirdly enough, I don't watch Academy. I feel like I should, though, because it's on Strafe, and that's actually the ones that do the worst down. Because I don't watch enough Academy. In this slide? No. I'll say he's part of the problem, but he's not the full problem. I feel like Svenskaren's been a big problem. Jizuke kind of a little bit ending has been a problem, but I feel like Jizuke's been the best. And then Bang and Zeyzal as well have been. I mean, just the team in general has been a problem since week 2. They've been completely... We're having the same discussion that we had early spring Evil Geniuses before they ramped up for playoffs. They're just all over the place and completely look like they're not communicating whatsoever. Like, it's literally the exact same scenario of last early spring. Name-wise, they're good players. Yeah, that is fair. That is fair. But yeah, I've lost faith in them. And remember, Ryan's power rankings are usually how he feels right now. Mine are how I feel right, like at the end, what I feel like is going to happen at the end of the split. So my power rankings are essentially a prediction for the playoffs. And I actually see Evil Geniuses, if they keep up this sloppy level of play, actually missing playoffs. From Ross Building, they should be silent on it, but they simply can't. Yeah, there's so much. I feel like it's just not. Evil Geniuses is just a roster that either has a very weak mental, which is very possible. I feel like Bang has a very weak mental. I also feel like Svenskeren kind of has a weak mental as well. and Jizuke. I feel like all three of them. Like I feel like that's a lot of weak mental on the team at the same time, or they're just not synergizing as a team properly whatsoever. It's one of those build a superstar team with Jizuke, Bang, Svenskeren. You bring in Zazel from Spring Split, who you could say was like one of the better supports because he kept making finals, but I don't think it's going to. I think it's just all blowing up like a normal super team does, unlike LGD a little bit. Bang is probably 110% done with NA after years of this shit. Literal years in NA now. I mean, it's not even communication. We literally see Jizuke TPing bot. He's not even in the middle of the well, it might be a miscommunication where Jizuke is like, okay, guys, go in. And then he didn't realize, or like they're maybe talking like, well, yes, it's silver level macro, but maybe that's where Evil Geniuses is right now. The Jizuke saying, okay, guys, go in, and they're like, okay, but then Jizuke didn't realize they're not even halfway up the lane yet, and then they die. And they're like, oh wait, we weren't ready yet. Like, you know, I don't know. It's a mess. The whole team is a mess at the moment. Alrighty, let's move on to team number 8. I have CLG as my 8th team. Ryan has Dignitas. Nope. I lied. I have Dignitas as my 8th team. Ryan has CLG as his 8th team. I mixed them up on my sheet there. Ryan's CLG has stayed the same. My Dignitas has moved up. So Ryan believes that CLG will just barely make the playoffs, and I think that I have Dignitas just barely squeezing in themselves at the moment. So what I think about Dignitas right now is they had a very, very good week. Like, very good. Crushing Immortals and then crushing FlyQuest. And we've seen them so close. Like, especially this bot lane with Johnson and Aphromoo. We're talking... Aphromoo has had a revival that I've never seen from him before. Like, 3 years now has it been since Aphromoo was relevant in anything. It's the NAXL, kind of. Johnson's been fantastic, I feel like. I'm glad that Phoenix is in. I'm not sold on Phoenix by any means, but I don't like having Froggen in as well. I feel like Froggen is just so outdated. Ryan believes that CLG is bordering on being the worst team in the league, but Immortals can barely get wins, and Evil Jesus lost to CLG. Yeah, CLG's having a lot of rough times at the moment, but... There is a good chance CLG... Ryan believes there's a good chance CLG doesn't... Why are you talking about yourself in third person like this? Oh, man. But yeah, I think I'm more... Like I said earlier, I'm more concerned Dignitas find a way to lose again and get exposed through the bot lane. Or through the mid lane. Not the bot. They won't get exposed through the bot lane at all. Through the mid lane with Phoenix. But... until that happens truly, it did happen against C9 and 100 Thieves, but with 100 Thieves rising, C9, I want to see how they perform. Who do they play this week? CLG and Golden Gardens. It will be a very, very good test for Dignitas. If they can beat both of them, or even just one of them, they can prove that they belong in the middle of the pack here in NA. I must have sent it after this week. Yeah, seriously. He played so well. That's LPL. I actually have... So where I have CLG is 7th. And Ryan has... Or Dignitas at 6. So Ryan's Dignitas shot all the way up to 6. My CLG also moved up a little bit to 7th. Like this because you just assumed that me ranking CLG 8th has them making playoffs. Well, that's fair enough. But I just think that they're third worst team right now. Hey, third worst team technically makes playoffs in a CLG versus SO4 best of 5. Who wins? Oh, don't make the world suffer through that, Raptor. But all right, we got. I think CLG is doing okay. like Ryan said, CLG could definitely be the worst team in the league right now. It's very hard to tell. They just beat Evil Geniuses, which is good for them, but like they don't look very clean whatsoever as a team. I think I saw a stat today that said Stixxay was like 10th in ADCs and gold difference and 11th in CS margin or something like that. Like when you're 11th in a 10-man league, it's not a good look. Not a good look at all. I agree. Stixxay is horrible, but he has been for ages. Stixxay has been a big problem for CLG for about 2 years now, and they refuse to change. I thought Ruin was going to be a nice change, bringing him over from 1907 Fenerbahce, but he's completely flopped. Wiggly has gone back down. He was like terrible when he came up, then he was amazing that one summer split last year. Now he's going right back down again to where he was before. It's all a mess. The only one that's reliable on CLG is Pobelter. Pobelter gets that team wins like that. He should not. They should not be getting. And outside of that, there nothing else on that team works well at all. All right, I'm gonna move a little bit quicker here. Number 7 on Ryan's list is FlyQuest. So Ryan has dropped FlyQuest all the way to number 7. I have dropped FlyQuest to number 5. So FlyQuest has fallen 1 spot for me. Ryan has dropped them 5 full spots. Dig is on the rise strictly based on performance. The whole old roster put them and might keep them out of playoffs, but the way they play is far more engaging than a bunch of NA teams. Fair enough. That is fair enough. Okay, so FlyQuest has dropped. FlyQuest has now dropped 3 straight games. They have not looked good for 2 weeks now. You can argue FlyQuest has not looked much better than Evil Geniuses since week 2. Like week 2, FlyQuest and Evil Geniuses looked great. Like they were looking great. Week 3, FlyQuest comes out with a win against CLG. Sure, they beat Evil Geniuses. Awesome. Then they've lost a game to Golden Guardians. They've lost to Team Liquid. Now they've lost to Dignitas and 100 Thieves. All in the same, in the last 3 weeks. They're 2-4. And this is coming off a 4-1 start. Even if they started out 4-1, and since the 4-1 start, they're 1-4. So it's been a hard fall since June 28th. When they lost to Golden Guardians, and they have not looked good whatsoever. Solo lane's starting to look shaky. Agreed. Which is weird to say because Solo was doing so well before. And the ADC, they never had a good ADC, like you said. They had Wild Turtle and then Mash. But then Power of Evil's looking pretty shaky. Solo for the first time this week looked shaky, and then Santorin just looked off his game in general this entire weekend as well. It was just not a good weekend in general. Ryan mentioned this is a good point. I can already tell by just the first sentence. I think the league has caught up to Fly. Not even that Fly looked bad like the teams below them have, but other teams have just been performing better. And Power of Evil and Santorin in particular have had really shaky early games the past couple of games now, and Ignar is looking more and more exposed. Agreed. Completely agree. I feel like that's kind of what I thought was going to happen in my initial power rankings from preseason. I had Fly as 4th. Is getting tilted up solo queue. True, but I had seen it as the LCS was so bad in Spring Split that FlyQuest was able to take advantage of it by just playing average League of Legends. Just playing average League of Legends got them to finals, pretty much. Outside of C9, who was doing fantastic. But outside of that, FlyQuest playing average League of Legends got them to finals. Now that the LCS is actually looking better, especially compared to what it was last year or last split, they're starting to look more and more exposed, like Ryan had mentioned, that just by playing average League of Legends, you are looking to be more like an average team in the 4th, 5th, 6th section. Sure, you're going to make playoffs, but are you really going to do anything? It doesn't look like it at the moment. They could still easily bounce back, Solo can start performing again. Power of Evil and Santorin can stop dying early a ton. But if that is
if that's not like recoverable, then I'm seeing this team as a early dropout type team. Aside from him, no, I think the other four looked actually good. Ignar thrown pretty cleanly, and you could always count on PoE on mages. Now the soul lanes that have to carry are just meh, and Ignar can't affect the map either. So Ignar shown us to be more and more one note, and he's become easier to read. I agree. You've noticed, if you notice in the Team Liquid game versus FlyQuest, where FlyQuest should absolutely beat Team Liquid last week, Ignar got caught out on a because they knew Ignar was going to try and get a flank on the Rakan. Clearly, because one, that's what Rakan does. Two, that's definitely what Ignar Rakan does. And then all of a sudden, he was caught out on Vision just briefly, just for a half second, or even like 0.2 seconds. He was caught out on Vision, and then they instantly were able to collapse on him. His Rakan engage was kind of meaningless, and then Team Liquid, I believe, won the fight like 4-1 or something like that. But it's like teams are reading that, and teams are getting a lot of film on him, and they're kind of just like realizing what he does now. His surprise engages aren't very much surprises anymore. All right. Number 5 for Ryan and number 6 for me is the Golden Guardians. They have moved up slightly in my power rankings, and they've moved up, I believe, slightly in Ryan's as well. I think that Golden Guardians, this has been a tough team. Like, they're a tough, like, you know, in like baseball, and if you watch any other sports, there's those teams that are very mediocre record-wise, but they're a tough match. I'm trying to think all the time. It used to be, it's like Tampa Bay for football. We don't know this year, Tom Brady, but Tampa Bay with Jameis Winston and stuff, you had to come prepared. They weren't a relatively good team, and Jameis Winston usually threw like 7 interceptions of that. It was okay and you were going to win, but you still had to come prepared because they could score a lot and they could catch you off guard. Another team off the top of my head, the Cardinals, like they weren't good, but like they played everyone really closely. And that's 30 TDs and 30 ents in one season. Oh, man. And the last ent was on the final play of the season. I was so happy. I was so happy. I love Jameis Winston. Jameis Winston is the Rogue Warriors of the NFL. Just fuck it. Throw it up there. And then just, no game plan. Just go with it. GG's could actually be a really good quality team, not even joking. They managed to sign actual support for FBI and a bit better top line. Demonte FBI closer is a great core to have. Raptor, you're preaching to the choir here. You are absolutely preaching to the choir. I've been saying this since I saw FBI at MSI on the Bombers. I loved how he played. Then he got signed by Golden Guardians. I was like, that is a great signing. And then since that day, they have put him with Hui, Keith, and a mental boom Ole. Like, not prime Ole, mental boom Ole. Imagine FBI with big. I know. Give me any support for this man. I've been begging for it it's been 2 years since FBI has been in the league now, right? I've been begging for this for so long from Golden Guardians to give. I've been telling you, I've been saying like FBI's not that bad. FBI's not that bad. He just needs a new support. And like every year his stats are just not good. But I'm like, he needs a new support. And Golden Guardians is not giving it to him. But yeah, closer this week. So disgusting. Just the way he just simply out-jungled Svenskeren showed how much I love Closer on this team. I think I love Golden Guardians because they brought those wildcard players that I really, really liked when I was actually watching all the games in wildcard, like FBI, like Closer and stuff. And they brought them to NA, and they showed that they can perform in major regions. I just really wish they would change support. Maybe top laner, but Hunter's been serviceable enough, in my opinion, that if you're a team like Golden Guardians, who clearly doesn't have nearly the level of money that Cloud9, Team Liquid, and TSM does, then maybe just if they go out and shop for a import support, they can't get an import because they have Closer and FBI, but like they get some type of support from NA, like Diamond, yeah, give me anything, man. Give me literally anything. Just give me a support, an original support main, and not someone that's role swapping. That's all I ask. All right, let's wrap these up because we got to do predictions and stuff. I said only 2 to 3 hour podcast. We're 44 minutes into NA alone. And we haven't even done predictions. All right, let's pull number 4 for me. I can offer you is a Phoenix roll slop and a bubble gum. Am I me or am I Golden Guardians management? Because if I'm Golden Guardians management, you got yourself a deal. They'll talk about how, Phoenix is doing great on this role and so no. Just get a damn support, please. Just give the man 1 in his career. 100 Thieves is my number 4 team. Ryan actually has boosted 100 Thieves all the way to number 3. And like that sounds a little crazy, but remember, I have TSM number 3. Ryan has TSM number 4. That sounds a little crazy, but remember that Ryan's is how he feels in the moment. Like as of this week, who looks like the best teams for him. So in his eyes, Thunder Thieves took down C9. We never saw anyone even get close to taking down C9. Not that crazy since Stunt was D tier level. If TSM won today, they would have been 3rd. That is fair enough. That is fair. Even with your power rankings being like gut reaction, mine are towards like trying to predict end of the year. I literally see Thunder Thieves as the 4th best team in NA right now. As of this moment. I think that they, like Raptor said, Stunt was D-level support this year. I'm sorry. Stunt was really, really, really bad this split. I've called it out constantly. And Meteos, again, I didn't like how Meteos was playing the split either. I thought both of them were playing super, super poor. And were some of the main reasons why this team was always losing. It felt like Someday was okay. It felt like Cody-san was okay. Like, they weren't playing great, but it felt like Ryoma was playing decent. So you had your ADC, your mid, and your top laner playing decent. And then you had your jungler and your support running it down to every lane. Like, Meteos would die over here. Stunt would die this way. Meteos would die mid. Stunt would die mid. Like, it was like a mess. Like, every lane was getting fed off these 2 alone. Pretty much. So 2 big reasons removed. Well, I'm still not sure on Roma, but cutting off 2 dead weights helped a ton for sure. Agreed. It literally felt like Stunt and Meteos were just delivery systems to the enemy teams for free gold. It was quite frustrating to watch, to be honest. And now seeing how Poom and Contracts, like, oh my god, he came back so strong. And I'm very excited for this team. I see this team. This team is... It's only been 2 weeks. It's only been 2 weeks. And in these last 2 weeks, I've gone from... I'm okay having Team Liquid, C9, and TSM maybe... In the Evil Geniuses and FlyQuest, I was like, okay, one of those 3 I'm fine with at Worlds. Now I'm like, C9... Definitely Team Liquid. Team Liquid was it was between Team Liquid, TSM, Evil Geniuses, and FlyQuest. Like 4 spots for 2 spots. Like 2 spots at Worlds, 4 teams. Now I'm like C9 Team Liquid for sure. I want to see at Worlds for NA. And it's between TSM and 100 Thieves for me. For who I want in that 3rd spot. I don't want to see CLG. I don't think anyone wants to see CLG just looking at the standings here. I don't want to see Evil Geniuses right now. They look awful. If any team is better than them mechanically, I don't see this team being even remotely competitive at Worlds because they have the mechanical talent to outplay people, but their macro, like Raptor mentioned before, is kind of silver level. And you want 100 Thieves 100 times more than TSM. Yeah, I know you do. FlyQuest as well, they just look... FlyQuest to me seems like that very, dare I say, boring level. Like, I feel like FlyQuest would just get exposed hard at Worlds. Like how C9 kind of exposes FlyQuest last split and like this split. Like they're just like simply outmatched in every way, and they just look average. I feel like you can't look average at Worlds. You have to look amazing.
And I see the potential for 100 Thieves to look amazing a lot more than I do FlyQuest. So yeah, I personally obviously would rather see 100 Thieves than TSM and Worlds. But if TSM step up, like Bjergsen's having a hell of a split. Like Bjergsen's playing some of the best League I've seen him play in about 2-3 splits now. Double it's been okay. Spica's really stepped up, and Broken Play's been playing pretty well as well. Actually, honestly, I think Double It's and Biofrost have been the weakest part of TSM so far this split, which is weird to say. TSM consistently lose games in draft. At this point, I have to assume it's actually Bjergsen being the problem in select. Like, they have made coach and staff changes, and they still have garbage draft on average. Also, they don't get bailed out by Bjergsen and double. Bio is garbage. Yeah, I mean, I think the bot lane's been really struggling. I absolutely agree with you, Raptor, on that draft scenario. I think that TSM, that's their biggest weakness, is they have some god awful drafts constantly, and this has been an ongoing issue. I also am. That's why I'm kind of nervous for. We'll talk about it later, but with T1, their drafting needs to change. I assume it's the same thing with T1 and Faker. What a call, Raptor. What was today's draft with TSM? I actually think you're right. I think today's draft was okay, but in general, they had Wukong into Ornn is a little bit of a struggle. But you have Graves into Trundle is a little bit of a struggle as well. I like the Corki and Zilean. I think that's fine. I hate Tom Kench. I hate Tom Kench. I hate Tom Kench. Tom Kench and Akali auto loses you every game. Team Liquid won with Tom Kench earlier this week. I was like the only win with Tom Kench in like a year, I feel like. That I've seen. So yeah, I don't like the Tom Kench. Besides, what do you say? I guess you're saving him from the Ash Arrow. But outside of the Ash Arrow and maybe a hook, but you should never... Doublelift should never be in a position to be hooked by Thresh with Trundle and Wukong in the front line. And there were multiple miscommunications where I believe Biofrost would eat someone who was ulted by Zilean. And like, there you just wasted both of those massive cooldowns for nothing. You don't lose that. You can still run it down at Herald. That is true. I think it is a sloppy draft in that sense, but I think TSM just doesn't adapt well in drafts, you know? Like, they're like, okay, Wukong is a power pick. Well, what does Wukong struggle against? Tanks. Well, how do we counter a tank? Trundle. Well, they counter Trundle with Graves. Like, you're getting outplayed on every pick, you know what I mean? Sounds like a team I don't want at Worlds. Yeah, I mean, hell, listen, Ryan, we don't have a hot selection of teams here in NA. Would you rather have CLG? I don't think so. I would give me the bad drafts and just off player talent alone than CLG. 100 Thieves, though. I can see that team rising on up. That's the team I want to see the most right now for that third spot. Yeah. C9 Team Liquid. I'm saying. I'm in agreement with you. I think that TSM right now, just 100 Thieves have to do some work to get there. But I think they can do it. Okay. Let's go to predictions. Because we're an hour in and I was like, oh, quick one. Nope. It's not going to be a quick one, apparently. It does have to be. It literally has to be. I will cut it off. I will just go on a speed run, basically. Alrighty. Let me pull up. I actually don't know Ryan's predictions. I did not look at them at all. Like, I wanted to keep them a surprise for myself. Let me pull them up here. Ryan, why do we have to talk so much today? Jesus Christ. Okay, so here's your LCS. Let me pull up my strafe. I think I screwed up.
I didn't pick them all. Sweet. Okay, good. I'm glad. I'm very opinion. Yes, you are. All right, game number 1. TSM versus 100 Thieves. I did not pick this on Strafe. I'm picking it now real quick. And I already know what my prediction is. And that one too. Okay. So, this is the game. This is literally, if I'm not seeing anything else crazy here except for maybe Team Liquid versus 100 Thieves, this will literally be the game, big game decider. Raptor is 100 Thieves, Team Liquid, Dignitas, C9, TSM, TL. Okay, GG's, TL, C9, Mortals, GG, Easy Clap. Okay. I think we're actually very similar. All right, let's just run down the list real quick. I am going to have... Oopsies, why is that messing up? There we go. Grab this. You're going to see how I do this live because I didn't do this earlier. It's a very, very, very intense way to do this. All right. 100 Thieves versus TSM. Ryan has 100 Thieves. I also have 100 Thieves. I think they, like I've said before, I thought TSM is going to get it together towards the end of the split. I think they are in a similar trajectory of Team Liquid, where they have the players to be good. It's just that their trajectory is it's taking a lot longer due to a lot of the coaching issues that plagued Team Liquid in spring, I feel like, with just terrible drafting. And I feel like they have potential, obviously, to be top 3 team. Like, if this team didn't lose to Immortals, this team would probably be top 3. Easily, it would be top 3, top 2. Even potential for top 2. But losing to Immortals like that badly to Xmithie, who has looked terrible. Let's be honest, Xmithie's looked god awful. Makes me worried that this team, I don't know. I'm confused about this team. Like, TSM confuses me. Poor drafting all the time, and just like they're really relying on Bjergsen to carry so much every game, it feels like. And he has, to be fair. He has done really, really well this split. But Speak has been good. Broken Blade's been good. The bot lane has just been Biofrost has been really, really bad, like Raptor pointed out earlier. Immortals crib stopping TSM with Xmithie Graves, that's enough reason to drop them in power rankings. Exactly. I mean, that's what's confused me. If they come back and they destroy 100 Thieves this week, and FlyQuest as well, then they're right back up in my top 3, top 2 discussion. And I would have them go into Worlds again. But I just, like you said, you don't trust them? I don't trust them. That's my issue. Yeah. I think that their drafting ability they did against C9, if 100 Thieves drafts the way they did against C9 into TSM, and TSM is a much, much easier team to bait and beat in drafts compared to C9, I think that they'll be just fine. All right, game number 2, Team Liquid versus Evil Geniuses. I think that we all know how that one's going to go. Probably going to go to Evil Geniuses now that I said that. But Team Liquid looking much, much better not each and every week, but they're looking better this week. Like, it looks like the pieces are finally starting to come together. They're looking like a really good team, a team that can contend for Worlds. Team, dare I say, in my top 20 in the world. I haven't done my top 20, but like they would be making a case right now to be top 20, top 25 team in the world. And be the first NA team to sneak in there outside of C9. But Evil Geniuses, on the other hand, is just on a straight dive since week 2. Basically, since the Team Liquid and Evil Geniuses game, Team Liquid's gone like this. Evil Geniuses has gone like this. Like, I don't think it'll be the same scenario. I think the Team Liquid will split the series, and not only split the series, with TSM hypothetically losing in this scenario, they would be 6-5. Evil Geniuses would be 5-6. At that point, you would have a full 3-game lead on everyone in the league with only 6 to 7 games left. you're pretty much sealing second place at that point. Like, legitimately. All right, let me move this over here so I can type faster. CLG versus Dignitas. Let's see what Ryan has, because now I blocked Ryan's stuff, of course. The CLG versus Dignitas is 7 on here, but it's 4 on here. We're just going to go on here. Ryan has Dignitas. What do I have? I should check my stuff before I start mentioning things. I have Dignitas. Yeah, I don't trust CLG. Let's be honest. Does anyone trust CLG? Like, for real? You would never trust a team with Stixxay, right? Yeah, Stixxay. I mean, Ruin probably won't be playing. But with the way Aframu and Johnson are playing, to just get it to steamroll, what's his face? I'm totally blanking. Stixxay, that we just talked about. Being able to steamroll Stixxay should be good enough. My only concern is that CLG pulls this out with Polbelt if they ban Azir from Phoenix and Polbelter just does what he's done all year for CLG and just takes the win away from Dignitas. Like, that is a legitimate concern that this game could easily flip in CLG's favor if Polbelter carries hard enough. So it's definitely going to be basically down to between Polbelter and Johnson and Aframu, which one will carry harder. I'm hoping it's Johnson and Aframu, but I can definitely see Polbelter do it. Let's see if Phoenix plays Azir or not. Yeah. You're right. EG versus C9. EG, this is also a main point of why Team Liquid will probably take down Evil Geniuses, is that Evil Geniuses has to prep for both Team Liquid and Z9 in the same week. That's brutal, especially if you're on as big of a tilt as Evil Geniuses looks right now. They're probably not winning many scrims, and they're probably not as focused in their practice. I think it's going to be a very bad week for Evil Geniuses again, and this is another reason why I just dropped them further and further in my power rankings. Yusuf Johnson can 1v9 as mentioned Poacher today. He can rock Azir. Yeah. It's going to be closer, I think, than you think. I'm thinking it's going to be closer. Just because I think it's mostly because Polbelter is also... I'm slightly biased because Polbelter is my favorite NA player. Evil Genius is coming in desperate and want to win, but C9 going to come in angry. Yeah, I just feel like it's too much for Evil Geniuses to handle at this point. Fly versus TSM. Ryan, what do we got, Ryan? You got TSM. I got TSM. I think Raptor also had TSM, if I remember correctly. Yes, he did. I think that TSM in general. FlyQuest. Yeah, scaling. Yeah. I think Blab, yeah, that was a weird draft for Cloud9. They don't play that normally, which is fine to try something new, but I don't think they they definitely disrespected Under Thieves a lot. TSM against FlyQuest. I think TSM, this is a good game to desperately bounce back. I'm surprised. I'm hoping, at least, because if TSM goes and loses to 100, this is a big test. Like we said, for 100 Thieves have a really big test this week with Team Liquid and TSM. TSM also have a big test with 100 Thieves and FlyQuest. That's one team that's on the rise, another team that's faltering. If you lose to both of them, all of a sudden you're a mediocre team as well with the others. Like, you're right there. You don't get the right to be like, oh, we're the third place team in the league, or like before this week, oh, we're second place. Like, we're just as good as Team Liquid, or like we're better than Team Liquid even though they beat us. No, like at that point, if you're losing to FlyQuest and 100 Thieves, you're all of a sudden 6-6, and you're in that level of just mediocrity with the others, with Evil Geniuses, FlyQuest. 100 Thieves technically would be there, but at the same time, they would be on a very high upswing. Like, so they're kind of there, but yeah, the rest would be kind of ugly to be down there. So it's a big week for TSM. Big proving week, especially with only 3 weeks left after this. Golden Guardians versus Immortals. I'm wondering what is Ryan has Golden Guardians, and let me guess why you have Golden Guardians, and if it's why it's the same reason that I do. By the way, by taking that game, I have tied Ryan in the LCS. He's still a game ahead of me overall because I lost the LPL one. But I'm tied in LCS now. I have Golden Guardians over Immortals because until today, where Xmithie popped off against TSM, Xmithie's not look great whatsoever since coming back. And I actually, Ryan has mentioned this as well, would rather see Potluck because why not? You know, what do you got to lose for Immortals? Give the guy some stage experience. On the other hand, you have Closer on Golden Guardians, like Raptor said before, the second best jungler probably in NA. Like right now. So that's a big mismatch and a jungle mismatch. If you saw what Closer Justin Scarin did for Evil Geniuses against Golden Guardians, look at that. That's probably what's going to happen between Golden Guardians and Immortals. Alright. We got 100 Thieves versus TL. King of the East. You're not the King of the East yet, Brian. You're King of the LEC, basically. You're the King of the LEC. I'm the King of the LPL, and we're tied, I believe, in the LCK and the LCS. Closer contracts Blabber. Jungle's starting to be stacked in NA. Yeah, which is very weird for you to say that without mentioning 3 very big names. 2 from NA and 1 from EU. Well, technically 2 from EU. But Xmithie, Svenskeren, back-to-back, like every single, like the last 5 years, the best 2 junglers in the league. And Broxah, not mentioned on that list. 100 Thieves versus Team Liquid. Let's see what Ryan has. I actually don't know what you have in this one. I don't know what you have for any of them. Ooh! Ryan with... Oops, that's me. Ryan with the 100 Thieves pick. Why are you picking 100 Thieves over Team Liquid? I'm personally picking Team Liquid because of what I saw this week. I think that they can really step it up. And I don't think Team Liquid has as tough of a first game against Evil Geniuses. I feel like 100 Thieves has a lot of prep to do for both TSM and Team Liquid. I think if they're going to get one but not the other type scenario, I think they'll get the one against TSM because TSM has such poor drafting, where Team Liquid drafting has been much better. And Team Liquid as a team, as a draft, and as a team is improving week after week after week. Ryan believes in the Poom God. He does. I mean, hey, I believe too, but I just feel like Team Liquid has been showing us consistent enough results that they're going to be a standalone second place team. The PP God stands for Boom. Oh. All right, Cloud9 versus FlyQuest. I don't think we need to talk too much about that. C9 bounces back against FlyQuest. I'm assuming you pick C9, Ryan. Yeah, you pick C9. And finally, the last... Okay, so that's your pick. Gotcha. The last 2 games are Immortals versus CLG. I totally already forgot your pick. Okay, got it now. And Dig versus GG. Someday versus Impact. Contract versus Broxah. Contract versus Broxah. That is actually a good... I mean... That's why. That's fair. I think that Impact... I'm believing in Impact. Give him Shen. Don't give him Shen if you're 100 Thieves. But if you give him Shen, like, I think he can just nullify everything around the map. But yeah, like you said, Contract versus Broxah, that's going to be the dangerous spot for 100 Thieves. And how will Jensen versus Ryoma go? Like, if Jensen stomps enough, that might actually help stabilize Broxah a bit and not let Contracts play too well or too aggressive. Okay, so I picked that. Okay, so we got some more differences finally, Ryan. I have in this CLG versus... Wait, is this... nope, wait, hang on. I was looking at the wrong games. We don't have differences. Damn it. Damn it, right after I said that. I have Immortals taking down CLG. I just don't trust CLG whatsoever. Want to do LEC predictions for week 5? We're actually going to do them very quickly because we already talked LEC last week. So LEC this week is pretty much only going to be predictions. So we're going to do them very quickly after this. LEC is going to be very, very short this week. And you had Golden Guardians. I had Golden Guardians. No, I have Dignitas. Just kidding. I have Dignitas beating Golden Guardians because of the bot lane against Aphromoo and Johnson versus FBI and Huhi. I can't trust it, man. We're giving them Power Wheel. CLG's going 2-0. It is possible, but who knows? So at the end of the day, 100 Thieves for both of us, Team Liquid for both of us, Dig for both of us, Cloud9 for both of us, TSM for both of us, Golden Guardians for both of us, and then we finally start to spice it up on Sunday. You have 100 Thieves, I have Team Liquid. We both have C9, we both have Immortals. I have Dignitas, you have Golden Guardians. The KT, though, that's truly counter lunch. So that will be our predictions, and that will be all for NA in general today. That was an hour and 10 minutes. That's quite a bit longer than I wanted to go, but we'll make it up here in LEC. Sorry, LEC, but you didn't really have anything happen this weekend, so we can just go straight. We're here in the LEC again. Nothing's changed. But let's just move straight into predictions then for LEC. Last week we did our power rankings for them, and so let's see how the games match up compared to power rankings. Okay, so game number 1. I also haven't seen Ryan's predictions for this either, so it's going to be spicy. SK, it's going to look so weird on the timeline. LEC is going to be this big. SK versus SO4, time for 100 and Dig to win, so Will and I remain even. Again. Yeah. All right, so I'm going to assume you have SK, Ryan, but how spicy did you go? No, yeah, you got SK. Even though SO4 took down Fnatic, I don't think any of us are buying it that SO4's back. Let's be honest. You have SK Rogue, Fnatic, Misfits G2, SK Rogue, Mad, Misfits G2. Okay. I think we're pretty similar again. Rogue versus Excel. Rogue just curb stomps any opponent below them. So now that the whole LEC is below them, they're going to be looking great. Yeah, and Ryan agrees. I think Excel's decent. Like, they're a decent team. But I don't think, especially, they're the type of team that Rogue just loves to beat up, like, constantly. They're like a weaker, slower team, but they're not as. I was so hesitant to pick SK this week. They burned me so much. Yeah, this whole week with all these predictions, man. I was looking at them like, man. By the way, Fnatic Vitality might be the hardest to predict. Oh, I stared a long time at that, and it looks like we all landed on the same page. We all picked Fnatic. Against Vitality. I want to pick Excel over Rogue, but couldn't. Gatekeeping is too strong. Agreed. Fnatic, this is the week for Fnatic. Like, you cannot go 0-2. At all. Unacceptable. 1-1 is okay depending on how you went 1-1. That makes sense. It's barely okay. But you have to beat Vitality, and the loss has to come to a close loss against Misfits. Like, that is how it has to happen. Outside of that, you don't do that, then you're where I had you in your power ranking. Ryan had him way down. I actually had Fnatic missing playoffs because of the way they were performing. So we're going to find out real quickly. You don't expect them to be Misfits or Nemesis. It's not like Forbidden is a massive difference over Nemesis, which sounds so weird to say in general, because usually Nemesis would be so far above Forbidden. Hardest team to predict possibly in the world. Yeah. they're a very tough one. Forbidden top 4? No, 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 don't. Do you have Forbidden top four? Eh? Eh? You're not looking well. No, no, Ryan. No, Ryan. I would argue possibly Zazie, but yeah, once I took a look at each of the mid laners, I'm like, because like off the top of my head, immediately popped up, humanoid, Larson, and Caps, like immediately, and then I was like, okay, where's the fourth one? And you know what? You might be right. He might be top four. Top four, maybe top five. Zazi's been pretty good. But yeah, well, it's different. Forbidden's usually not up there anymore. It has been a long time since he's been up there. All right, Misfits versus OG. Yep, I agree with Ryan there. Top three mids in OC, solid. Gets murky after that. Specialist tier 0. Speaking of the other person that formerly on Excel, Mickey and Prince look awful. I'm glad that they Hollow Life throwing to them game 1 of the season for them. Yeah, they're back to reality. Exactly who I thought they were. I was like, damn, really? Because I thought I had a lot of high hopes for Hollow Life on that game 1. So then, like when APK beat them, I was like, or SP beat them, I was like, that's maybe Mickey and them are better. No, Hollow Life's just that bad right now. Anyway, Misfits versus Origin. What did I pick? What did Ryan pick? It's sad when I have to look through my predictions because I don't remember. It was a crazy day, as I explained. It was a very crazy day. Friday. I know. I'm pretty sure I know what I picked. Yeah. Well, the big brain on pre-split LCK rankings. It wasn't that. Those weren't that hard. That part of it, at least. All right, we both have Misfits here. I think that's fair. I think Nuke Duck in general and Origin in general. Both Origin games, yeah. We'll see if Origin bounces back. It's fairly, if they don't, like, it's going to be fairly rough for them to show that they're a relevant team for Worlds. Because remember, LEC, 4 of these teams go to Worlds. Right now, Mad Rogue G2, sure. But Misfits, maybe. Fnatic can still get in there. Origin, SK. Vitality's only a game out of Worlds right now. Excel's a game out of Worlds with Special. Can you imagine Special at Worlds, Raptor? I'm sure you would love to see Special go against a player like Knight. Don't forget I don't have them in playoffs. By the way, yeah, you do not. You have Origin dropping out of playoffs. Misfits will randomly end games. Fully agree with that. Misfits constantly end. They'll finish 7th or 8th. It'll be very interesting to see. Okay, let's G2 versus Mad Lions. Interested to see this. Ryan has Mad. What did you have, Raptor? I'm gonna scroll up for this one because I'm G2. G2. I'll just have to wait a few months. No, don't say that, Ryan. Don't give us that voodoo. I'm picking G2 to beat Mad Lions. This might be me throwing away a game. I think Mad Lions are amazing. They're in my top 10 in the world still. Trust me, they haven't fallen. We have to start trusting G2. That's kind of how I feel. I think after a week, Perks took the week off. He gets an additional week off here. I think it was more so practice. Like this week was a practice week. And just a full mental reset for Perks through the tragedy, including the rest of the team, just really starting to go back up. I see G2 making a big impact early. Not that they haven't already beaten top teams like Mad, Fnatic, Rogue. Like, they've beaten these top, like, level team. I guess Fnatic's not a top level team at the moment. But Rogue, Mad Lions, they've beaten them. And I think they're going to come back really strong after this break. If they don't, I feel like I trust Ryan says he trusted G2, but I don't want to stop trusting Mad either, and they will want the rebound from Misfits and get revenge from day one. That is completely fair. Completely fair. My trust is just like, at the end of the day, the LEC is almost always, no matter what happens early on, G2 and Fnatic, and I want to believe that those two teams are really going to step up. I have 10 times more the confidence in G2 to do that than Fnatic. I'm really worried about Fnatic doing that. But G2, I feel like I really trust them to not only take down Mad, but who else? Then they face Origin later this week as well. I think that they come out 2-0 here, they might sneak back into my top 10. They need to step on the pedal, exactly. G2 has to step up. Because let's face it, they're not looking amazing. All right. Vitality versus SK. This is the next day. So let's move over here. Maybe. Can I find it? Why can't I find the game? There it goes. Mad lost Misfits and right around the mid split point too. Okay, so Ryan, you picked SK Gaming. I picked Vitality, and you want to know why I picked Vitality? I don't know why I picked Vitality. This is a pure, my gut is kind of telling me Vitality in this game. I think that, I don't know why, because it's not like SK are going to be in a trap game against SO4. I just don't trust SK to win 2 games right now. And I'm not going to pick SO4. Like, we're not going to pick SO4 at all around here. But I have less hope in G than any Shulkama because I'm glutton for disappointment. Yeah, so you're feeling the same way, Ryan, right? Like, you're feeling that SK, they're going to stumble somewhere. And I'm not going to pick them to stumble against SO4. So that's why I'm picking Vitality. There's no logical statistics behind it. It's just, I have a feeling that SK is going to stumble at some point. Speaking of one of the most brutal games you're going to watch, because Rogue take no prisoners towards people below them. Rogue versus SO4. I am putting Rogue for you, Ryan. I don't care if you picked SO4 as an upset. I am saving you for it. No, you did not. Okay, good. Mad versus Excel. This is even more rough because we have no idea how these may have changed on the break. I know. LEC and LCS. We started out really good in LCS, and now they're starting to get us. LEC, we haven't really been good at all year. I have Mad. Humanoid versus Special. Come on. There's nothing that the rest of Excel is going to be able to do to carry Special when the rest of them are also getting beaten by Mad. Plus, Excel has to prepare for Mad and Rogue in the same week. Kind of unfortunate. At least they're getting them out of the way right now. But kind of unfortunate week back. Misfits versus Fnatic. So, Ryan has Misfits. Raptor has Misfits. The only reason why I have actually Fnatic this game is, 1, I'm giving them this final leash to come back. 2, it's what Ryan mentioned earlier with Misfits. Misfits have Origin, Fnatic, so two games that they're really going to have to focus on. I feel like Fnatic doesn't have to focus as much on Vitality, though to be honest, with Fnatic, they should probably do that anyway, because they lost to SO4. But my reasoning is that Misfits drops a lot of random games, and Fnatic are going to be very, very, very desperate this week that they're going to pull off some wins here. I'm hoping they bounce back after a week of sit-down practice, but like I said, if they don't pull this off, they have to look good in the Misfits game for me. If they get crushed the Misfits, sure, they beat Vitality, sure, but they get crushed the Misfits,
This team is done, in my opinion. This team will not make playoffs. Ryan mentioned, predicted Digging 100 Thieves looked better last week. I was a fool for not believing my own hype and believing too much in Immortals. Yep. Welcome, not believing my own hype. That's how I feel about JDG. You guys mocked me in my top 10 for JDG and Damwon, and I noticed. I was correct. I didn't give myself enough self-confidence to believe and push through with those. G2 versus SO4 is more scary. That's coming up. That's next week, guys. We'll talk about that. All right, final game, G2 versus Origin. I believe you have G2, Ryan. Yeah. I just don't trust Origin. I mean, Alfari's been fantastic, but outside of that, the rest of Origin has been, Upset, it's been okay, but Nukeduck has been so bad that it's bringing, Nukeduck and Xerxes have been so bad that it's bringing the rest of the team completely down. This kind of sounds familiar to 100 Thieves with Meteos and Stunt bringing the whole team down, and then they replace those two. And it's like, oh, the rest of the pieces that were doing good, that like just needed a little bit of help, and some other teammates not entering, boom, this team is shot up completely. I think Origin is currently in the same position with Nukeduck and Xerxes. Oh geez, the EU 100 Thieves confirmed. Confirmed completely. I have G2. Ryan has G2. Origin did beat G2 last time, but they have looked worse since, and G2 will be looking for the upswing. Works since the support is Giga ending as well. Yeah, Destiny's also been doing a little rough as well. Origin is more like the EU EG. Ooh, that's even worse, right? All right. But with that being said, not to push along too quickly, but like I said before, kind of want to get this done a little bit quicker. This week. Next week we'll be back to normal. I won't be going up north. I'll actually be able to watch every game again. I won't be like floundering like this. There isn't a Clash weekend as well on top of it. I'm just exhausted in general from, when you're out in the sun and just doing things that when you normally sit at your computer all day. You get tired. You probably noticed I've yawned quite a bit this podcast, except switch top for support. By the way, as for LPL, I know Fun Plus Phoenix prediction was bold, but I didn't expect Tian and Khan shitting the bed this hard. Alright, let's move over to the LPL, like you just mentioned. I've clicked this tab a few times already. So, this week in the LPL, Ryan tied me, or we're not tied total, but he took a point off me. He went 11-3, I went 10-4. It was actually a really good week, except for a little hiccup here. like these 3 games, back to back, were not great. like that's not great. Like we had, first off, let's start. Team WE took care of business against DMO. That's fine. They actually lost the game to DMO because DMO, they fight harder now. They're much better until it gets Rogue Wars. JDG took care of business against EDG in a 2-0. Vici Gaming barely beat Rogue Warriors in a 2-1. Sunning took down E-Star 2-1. Victory 5 crushed LNG 2-0. IG took down Billy after a fierce game by Billy, and I believe that was game 2. It was a 2-1. Vici Gaming freaking upset Fun Plus Phoenix. Man, oh man. Fun Plus Phoenix getting beat by Vici Gaming was just inexcusable. Complete throw in the final game as well, by the way. JDG, I should have went full confidence with my prediction. I moved them all the way up to number 4 team in the world, and then I didn't pick them to beat LGD. I should have just let it happen. I knew this team was going to turn it around. They've been turning it around week after week lately. I believe they're second place at the moment. They're tied with Victory 5 at the moment for second place on a 6-game winning streak after starting the year 1-2. It's going to be really tough to beat JDG, I feel like. I feel like this team has completely turned their season back around. IG, by the way, sneakily 7-3 while looking pretty sloppy while doing it. Notice how the rest of these teams, Tops lost 2 games. Victory 5's lost 6. JDG 7, Team WE and Sunning 9. IG's lost 11 games. Oh, there isn't a team. There are team like Royal RNG is in 10th place, and they have less losses than IG does. What, you guys are flaming me down there. My rankings aren't be all end all. You know that. But yeah, IG tripping over results in the 4th place. And a 7-3 record is not that bad. That's pretty good. Like, they're literally a half game out of first or out of second place in the entire league. But the way they've made it there, oh man. It is a rough, very rough way to go. Like, they literally only have 2 extra losses than EDG and OMG, who are 12th and 13th place. Yeah, Puffin, I'm so disappointed with Puffin Salvin because they were really good last spring. They were amazing on Vici. They were really good last spring. And like I was so hyped that they got him. I was like, okay, that's an even trade. You lose Jackie Love, but you lose Ballan. That's an upgrade there. You could put a bot in and be an upgrade. But then it's just they've fallen off so hard this split. But yeah. IG took down E-Star. Rogue Warriors took down DMO. Top 2-0'd Fun Plus Phoenix, because Top is unstoppable. LGD took down OMG, but it was a little risky. Then RNG just smacked EDG. EDG has completely fallen apart. Coin flip, baby. Oh, man. Ryan taking a game off me in the LPL off a pure coin flip, by the way. No joke, the second game. Giga throw. Did it? Like, see, this is one of the series I didn't get to watch because, you know, I actually want to watch this now. Like, that's one of the ones I didn't get to watch because I was trying to catch up to, Friday, Saturdays games, and then I had to catch up on NA as well, and Korea. I'm going to watch that tonight. Maybe not tonight, but tomorrow. Oh yeah. I completely blanked on it. You did tell me about that. Listen, man, I had league overload. I think I watched and paid attention to like 40 plus games today alone. League overload today. On like 5 hours of sleep. Alrighty. So, what teams were, I don't really have too much time to do that, but Top's still looking good. 8-0. Our top unbeatable, like really. Yeah, well, let's get to predicting them between that and FPX game 3 versus Vici. Some real head scratchers to say. I watched FPX versus Vici. That was before I went up north. That was a hell of a throw. Alright, yeah. I'm with Raptor this time. Let's just get the predictions on the road. The stream will be slightly shorter, like we mentioned, but man, this week it had to happen. If Victory 5 doesn't stop Top Esports, then I assume they go undefeated. But yeah, let's check that real quick. So Top has already beaten, by the way. Top, where are you? They've beaten Billy. Billy doesn't count. EDG doesn't count. They've beaten Fun Plus Phoenix. They've beaten JDG. They've beaten LGD. These are all teams that we have in the top 10 in the world, by the way, not just the league. They've beaten LNG, OMG, Rogue Warriors, and Vici. So really, Top's only challenge after this, not Vici, probably. I don't think, unless they throw. Not DMO. It's going to be IG in week 8. And then not Sunning or RNG. Not E-Star or Team WE. The only challenge after Victory 5 is going to be next week, last game of the week against IG. Slightly shorter than 7 hours. Yeah, we're an hour 33 minutes in and we're already in predictions for LPL. But yeah, if Top beats Victory 5, only challenge is against IG. Outside of that, they should probably go undefeated. And they're going to make our
our global top 10 power rankings so boring because they're never going to drop out of first for the entire split. They were going to be first at the beginning of the split, and they're never going to leave. Damn it, Top. Why you got to be so good? Alrighty, let's pull up Ryan's predictions here. Alright. And then by some accident. In Worlds, they bomb out. Raptor, do you want me to look... Do you want me to look like the biggest fool in the world? Because I almost did last split. Going into Worlds, you weren't here. Going into Worlds, I said FunPlus Phoenix was not going to lose that game. You know what? I know what FunPlus Phoenix did. They lost game 1 to J-Team. Like, to be fair, loved J-Team. I loved them. I thought they were amazing in the LMS. They were the only good team in the LMS. Think of C9 Spring Split. That's exactly how the LMS was last summer. And then they almost lost to Splice. Like, I literally predicted them at number 1 in the world without losing a single game. I was right about the number 1 in the world part, but LWX really made them work for it. Oh, man. All right. I, unfortunately, like Ryan. Not unfortunately. I love Top Esports. What am I talking about? I love Victory 5, but Top Esports, I love this team. Which is nuts because they ended up winning Worlds. Yep. I would look like such an idiot. Brian and Brock were flaming me to constantly saying like, oh, this is really the best team the LPL has. Like, they had the easiest group and they barely made it out of it. Like, yeah, right. The LPL isn't actually that good. And then, the LPL finally got together with IG and FunPlus Phoenix going to semifinals and then looking good. But yeah. That actually worries me for Top because they're also a bunch of rookies. In the sense that they haven't, and none of them have been the Worlds before, except for Jackie So hopefully they don't have that bat. They don't need as big of a warm up that FunPlus Phoenix did last Worlds, but we'll find out. I have Top over Victory 5. Ryan sadly also has Top in Victory 5 or over Victory 5, but Ryan is begging Victory 5 to win. I actually should have picked Victory 5 on Strafe because they're worth like 1,000 points and it's just like a free, like you win the week if you predict them type scenario. But like, this is tough. That's what I'm saying as well. Knight might be a god in China, but what if he just simply cracks at Worlds? Well, that's possible. I have a lot more confidence in Knight after watching MSC and just watching him smurf on all of the LCK performers. Same with 369. They looked in Yanja. I think that they looked so good at MSC that I think that they will be fine at Worlds. But you never know. Worlds is different than MSC is going to be, obviously. But if they perform at that international level like that, then, I mean, there's no point for us even to play fucking Worlds at this point, except for Victory 5 to make it and upset them. Oh, alrighty. Sunning versus Billy. This game was actually pretty hard for me to predict. I think, what did I go with? Because I was really back and forth on this. I'm like, Meteor being on Billy has really upped this team a lot. Wins NA for the first time in 6 years. MSI canceled. Knight can win China and make Worlds. Worlds canceled. It's a curse. Oh, don't say that. Don't say that. All right. I picked Sunning. Ryan picked Sunning. I basically picked Sunning because even though Meteor is back on Billy, I actually unironically think Sunning's an okay team now. Since Angel has really developed to be a legitimate mid laner. As much as we flame this team, as much as we hate this team, Angel's been a legitimately good mid laner. Sword Art has always been good. And Flash Wolf dear to my heart. Bin has stepped up a lot this split. And SOFM has also played pretty decent this split. Let's get rid of LEC here. So I do have Sunning over Billy. But, I mean, you can still never trust the team. But the team looks better. If Meteor was on Sunning, I'd actually like Sunning. Yeah. I mean, that would be a very good pickup for them next split, is if Sunning can pick up Meteor instead of SOFM, they'd be a legitimate Worlds contending team. To be fair, sadly, they are a Worlds contending team at the moment since they're only one game behind, but no one wants to see that, just like no one wants to see CLG versus SO4. Team WE versus LNG. I do. No, you don't, Raptor. No, you don't. Which team are you sacrificing out of the LPL to put Sunning at Worlds? That you would rather see Sunning than any of these teams? LGD? Victory 5? Top? JDG? FunPlus Phoenix, who's not even in the playoffs at the moment? FunPlus Phoenix isn't even in the playoffs in China, by the way, and I think we have them ranked really highly in our power rankings. Oh, man. Alrighty. Team WE versus LNG. I have Team WE. Do you have any spiciness, Ryan, here? I doubt it. Not that you don't have spiciness. I just think that that'd be a stupid move by you if you did. At that point. Rogue Warriors versus LGD. This one should also be a very easy one of LGD for me. I think that Ryan has LGD. Look at that. Perfect. Okay. OMG versus E-Star. That would be Wednesday, correct? Or no, that is Wednesday. We have a difference here, Ryan. Ryan has picked OMG to beat E-Star because E-Star to Ryan is dead. He does not talk about E-Star. He does not want to think about E-Star. They are dead to him. E-Star is dead. That is true. I picked E-Star to beat OMG because I don't trust either of these teams, to be honest. I really don't. So then I go back and I'm like, I think E-Star plays teams a lot harder than OMG does. Like, it's tough. This game is completely 50-50 to me. But I just coin flipped on E-Star. Ryan doesn't think E-Star exists, so obviously he's going OMG. OMG took a game off top and looked good versus LGD. Yeah, but what else have they looked good at? Since outside of those two series, even their wins look disgusting. You remember their game against DMO that we talked about like 2 weeks ago? That's still stuck in my head. Also, they are not E-Star. Yeah, I mean, listen, I feel like we were one of the few people that predicted E-Star to fall as hard as they did, and people still had faith, but I think they're better. They're good enough to take down OMG. I mean, look at they're 2-8 to 3-6. It's not they both have 10 wins. Like E-Star win, even though they lose more series, they win just as many games as OMG. But they've lost 6 series in a row. Shit, I didn't even. One loss. They got 2-0 by Victory 5, 2-0 by FunPlus Phoenix. Respectable 2-0s. And they wait, who is the only win? E-Star's only wins are against DMO and LNG. What the hell did I predict there? E-Star looked good in one game of series. As you can tell, they win a game like almost every series. Is that E-Star's next 3? Oh, no, that's your next 3 predictions. Alright. Yep, next 3. Vici versus JDG. I'm going I think JDG's back and they're looking for vengeance. I don't think they'll get it against Top. I think Top is just too much of a team for JDG to handle at this point. But I think JDG should be fine. And they're looking to make Worlds anyway. Ryan also has JDG. LNG versus IG. I mean, Gala too strong. I mean, LNG, like, we talked about LNG. Like, like they had that miracle week, but since then they lost to eStar, OMG, Vici Gaming, Billy, Top Esports, Victory 5. They've won like one game since then. It was a miracle. It was Guardian Angel. They have like the best winning percentage, like, for their wins out of any team ever at the bottom of the standings, but they're still at the bottom of the standings for a reason. Ryan, the stronger they get in 4 months, they'll be picking their skins. Please don't say that, Ryan. Or Raptor. All right. Ryan in the RNG versus Sunning. Ryan has RNG. This was another very tough one for me. Where's my predictions? I picked RNG as well. I'm lame. Wow, my arrow key literally just popped. My arrow key literally just pops off my keyboard there. What the heck? Okay, that scared me. That's a curse there. RNG for no, because I don't trust Sunning. I still don't trust Sunning. I don't know why I don't trust Sunning. Honestly, I should trust Sunning. I feel like RNG will be practicing more for IG than Sunning has to practice for Billy, but pick Sunning. It's a sign. You know what? I didn't go with my heart last time, and it's cost me a lot. But because you said it's a sign, pick Sunning, I'm gonna pick Sunning. Legitimately. Like, legitimately. There's something about this team that if they take down... Oh, I don't like picking against Gala. I'm just going to stick with it. You know what? Screw it. We picked Sunning. It's a sign. Sunning is going to win this game against RNG. No analysis needed. I tried to make an analysis out of it, but this team is going to be 8-3 by the end of the week and in a world's position. And honestly, that's probably why I should pick them, because whatever me and Ryan don't want seems to happen. And that means that Sunning should always win. It was a tough one. That's why I'm totally okay changing my pick there. I'm totally fine. It's wrong on Strafe now, so that sucks. But I'm totally fine changing a pick there for some spiciness. EDG versus LGD. I'm assuming EDG is as dead to you as they are to me. LGD, yep. Easy enough. DMO versus Billy. I think that is a very easy BLG, just because Meteor is just better than all 5 players on DMO combined. Might be a little harsh, but it's true. Ryan with some spice. Oh, I totally skipped the Rogue Warriors Fun Plus Phoenix, by the way. Whoopsies, we're just going to move that down real quick. Rogue Warriors versus FPX. FPX, come on. The puzzle pieces aren't going to be able to put themselves back together for this one. Did I skip another game? No, I didn't. Okay. So this would be Saturday. Raptor, you have RNG over IG, huh? I'm kind of upset because I thought my RNG over IG pick was going to be a little spicy. I was fairly confident in it. And now I literally picked RNG to lose the Sunning and beat IG, so now it doesn't make nearly as much sense. I have more faith in RNG coming back, But like, you picked RNG. Ryan picked RNG to beat IG. We all picked RNG to beat IG this game. Like IG, they look 7-3, barely. Like, let's go back to it. This team is barely above 500 in game-to-game levels, while having a 7-3 record. They can't keep getting away with squeaking out wins. But it doesn't even feel like they're winning all the time. It feels like they lose all the time. I think it's because IG's losses are ugly. Like, really ugly. Like, their loss against... who they lose against this week? E-Star? They gave up like 20 plus kills to E-Star. Or was it Billy? Either one. They lost one to each. They give like 20 plus kills to both of them. They were like blowouts. So that's why it seems a little weird. I just think they'll be exposed by RNG. All right. Vici versus Top. I'm assuming, Ryan, you picked Vici, your favorite team, against Top. I feel like that just makes logical sense. And then JDG versus FPX. Now this is game of the week. Not really. I lied. Totally forgot. Game 1 is game of the week with Top versus V5. Game 2 of the week is game 14 with JDG versus Fun Plus Phoenix. Outside of that, you just got a lot of meh. RNG versus IG should be exciting, but a lot of the other stuff, maybe IG or RNG versus Sunning, but like outside of that, you don't got too much more. If Vici beat Fun Plus Phoenix and Top Esports, I swear. Kanavi difference. You think Kanavi over Tian is a big difference? I also, let me make sure. Yeah, I picked JDG. I'm finally gonna just believe in my power ranking. I won't say my team. It'll just be my power rankings. Because I do like Fun Plus Phoenix better. JDG is looking really good right now, in my opinion. Not that Fun Plus Phoenix is looking terrible. They're just looking a lot. We keep talking. We gotta shame Fun Plus Phoenix a little bit here. They're 5-4 in the year. They're barely above 500. Let's be honest. They're 13-11. We flame IG for being 15-11. The next 11 lost team is Fun Plus Phoenix, with one less win in there. So they just don't look as volatile, I guess, per se. But yeah, Fun Plus Phoenix got to step it up this week, big time. Like literally, they're out of the playoffs right now. Like they are actually out of the playoffs. Vici Gaming has stepped up into the playoffs somehow. I don't know how. A 4-game win streak has put Vici Gaming into the freaking playoffs. We have Vici and Sunning over here. My God, I didn't realize this until like this moment. Like Vici Gaming and Sunning are in there over RNG and Fun Plus Phoenix. Hell, Billy is only 2 games behind, a game and a half behind Fun Plus Phoenix at the moment. So Fun Plus, they're gonna start playing a little bit better. We're giving them a lot of credit being defending champs and playing in a godly hard region. And like Ryan said, they've played good teams and won. Like, that is also very true. Like, they keep dropping bad games, though. Kind of like G2 a little bit. They're beating all the good teams, but they're not. They're dropping some games they should not be dropping. Ryan does have Fun Plus Phoenix. He does think they'll get back and beat the junky dumpster gamers. But with that being said, that will be all for the LPL. Let's move on. Let's move on to the LCK. Let's keep it rolling. We're only an hour and 53 minutes in. It's 1 a.m., so I do need to go to bed. But, you know, we're making it. We're making progress here. Okay, so week 4 in the LCK. No comes else in an XT take. For Nord DRX, I think C9 beats literally every team. you gonna do my boys Damwon like that? I felt like they played their heart out, man. I don't think they. I think they played well. Well, yeah, but mistakes. That's what I'm talking about. All right, so DRX dropped Kitty. Little whoopsies. With the Camille. Listen, I don't understand it either sometimes, okay? Sometimes people don't understand. They don't understand what they're doing. Listen, Azir and Aphelios, like, are you gonna say that Azir and Aphelios are better team fighters than Camille? Or can't understand. Man, you're really going off on Korea. Well, both me and Ryan went 8-2 in Korea this week, so it was pretty good. We lost game 1 with a little oopsies by DRX losing to KT. Speaking of oopsies, T1 having some of the worst games I've ever seen in my entire life against Team Dynamics. Really did not expect that. Raptor has joined me on the big brain side and realizing what I saw in spring. Korea is bad now. Raptor, are you going to go as far as what Ryan mentions and he says that Korea is on the same level that NA is? Not to throw Ryan under the bus, but Ryan has mentioned that on the podcast before. I don't agree with that, but Korea is starting to look closer to NA than they are to the LEC for second place. Let's be real. Yeah, as a region as a whole. Without DRX, C9 wins this region, yes. But what about the rest of NA and the rest of Korea? Regions as a whole, not just top teams. And let's just pull this again. Okay, so first, while Raptor's thinking that over, KT upset DRX 2-1. Sandbox 2-0'd Humble Life. Yamato Cannon is back, and they are 6-0 since then. Because not only that, they also 2-0'd KT. T1 2-0'd Prince. Damwon 2-0'd Africa. Genji 2-0'd Dynamics. Sandbox 2-0'd TK. DRX 2-1 Damwon. Like, there's a lot of 2-0s, by the way. A lot of 2-0s. Africa 2-0'd Prince. Damwon 2-1 T1. Genji 2-0'd Humble Life. 100 Thieves is clearly second in Korea then. Well, Draft and Macro has been really off this year in LCK, behind maybe DRX. And their bottom teams are really, really bottom quality. Oh, you're warming up to it, Raptor. You're warming up to it. It's a bold... A Damwon Team Liquid would go, but I could see NA second and third being in playoffs in Korea. Yeah, I mean, me and Ryan have been talking about this for like a year. But I feel like we're still in a minority here that people are blinded by the LCK due to their like pure dominance for so long. But the league's not that good. Like Ryan said it last. I said it last split as well. I didn't go as far as say they were as bad as NA, but I said they were worse than LEC. And I feel like that's true. Nah, Raptor, Damwon's good. They got Damwon and DRX. Those are the two teams I trust out of Korea. Notice how I trust two teams out of NA with C9 and Team Liquid. I only trust two teams in Korea with DRX and Damwon. Genji and T1 are kind of like FlyQuest and TSM. Alright. So, the games. Yeah. I mean, we talked about T1 before. Like, how much... Like, they got punished how bad how sloppy they play, how bad their drafts are constantly. They're terrible. Their macro's awful. Like we talked about, like Damwon's macro being awful. T1's macro against Team Dynamics was terrible. Gen G just can't. I don't trust TL. I need 2 more weeks of consistency from them first. That's totally fine, Ryan. I agree. When I said I trust C9, Team Liquid, Damwon, and DRX, Team Liquid was a solid 4th. Like a solid 4th. The other 3 are way ahead of them. I mean, we'll have a really long conversation during and after Playoffs, I know, but Korea is a really bummer now. Yeah, I mean, fair. That's fair. So, just because we're just going to move quickly through everything. DRX, disappointing loss to KT. They bounced back against Damwon, though they probably shouldn't, as you guys previously mentioned. So, this was not a good week for DRX. Sorry. Damwon took down Afrika, dominated them. Didn't dominate DRX. They should have, but they didn't get the wins on said domination. Gen G looks good against the crappy teams like always. Gen G just stomps through everyone in their path except for... Who is the other loss to Gen G? DRX. So they've lost to DRX and T1. I mean, I nearly tanked all of my Korean teams in my GP10. Yeah, my GP10 is a lot different too. Let's see, T1, Lisa. Stop Prince. Good for Dynamics for taking that win again. Now they're 4-4. They're still not a strong team by any means. But they're getting wins like where they need to get wins, you know? Some teams can't do that, as we see from a lot of NA teams. And then, like we talked about, Sandbox, just 3-0 since Yamato Cannon, 6-0 since Yamato Cannon, and no, 6-1, 6-1. but pretty damn good about it, considering they were 1-10 in just the single games. They were 1-10 before Yamato Cannon showed up. Very much validated me and Ryan putting Sandbox into our... I believe Ryan put him in the playoffs. I put him in 7th. Ryan put him in 6th. Neither of us put him in the playoffs for Korea, but we put him really close on the outside looking in. Here's the Storm Faker, little Faker. And bold. Storm doesn't even exist anymore. Oh man, let's just get into predictions because I gotta go to bed. I'm a little bit tired. Alrighty. Gen G versus Afrika. Let me get actually back up to Ryan's predictions. Sorry for the lower quality podcast from normal, I would say at least. Rich just beat Faker. I mean, true. I mean, I knew this was gonna happen though with coming back from vacation, pretty much. Just, I was gonna be tired today. I didn't take a nap because my Clash team wanted me the coach, which was probably some of the most fun I've had. Just watch Discord now. You can watch you can watch multiple streams at once. So I had 4 of them. One of them has too poor internet to do Discord streaming and play at the same time. But it was I watched 4 of the screens and was just watching each one, like what they're doing and stuff, and then writing notes down. And it was like I had so much fun doing that. Ooh, yeah, the Bard is sneaky good, man. Like, I don't know where Bard came out of this meta. I don't know how he came into the meta, personally. Because a lot of my stuff comes from watching pro play and watching solo, or just, like, playing through solo queue. And every time you see Bard in solo queue, it's a 50-50 chance either they're a Bard god and they're tripping on... You have to be a Bard god. You have to be tripping on acid every time you play Bard, I feel like. But in general. But sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. Yeah, the chimes keep you up a ton, and you just do a shit ton of damage late game with Bard that I feel like no one expects. That's a very thank you, Raptor. Look, it's almost like you're diamond or something, and I'm not. You made an excellent point about getting XP as Bard while roaming, while getting your ADC ahead in extra solo XP because the shit XP got there. I'm sorry, I keep yawning. I can't stop yawning. I'm gonna be going to bed so quickly. Also, Bard scale as well. Yep. And I mean, Bard just does disgusting damage late game. No one expects it. No one expects the amount of damage he does. That's true. Well, it's also the bad thing about Bard for solo queue in general is that one ult can turn a whole game. Yeah, if you're up 5k gold and your Bard fucks up the ult, all of a sudden you're a goner. It's a very, very feast or famine ult. Like one of the biggest feast or famine ults in the entire game, to be honest. All right, let's make predictions here. Gen G versus Afrika. AF versus Gen G. I'm gonna go Gen G. It seems like Afrika makes too many mistakes. Gen G are like the rogue of EU, which sounds very weird because I used to call them the origin of the LCK, like or origin was the Gen G of the LEC, but now that origin's playing bad, it's like rogue has kind of taken that place. They're gonna beat up on the little teams, and they should absolutely be able to beat up on T1, but we'll see how that prediction goes because they have a mental block there. Next game is Damwon versus Dynamics. Damwon will bounce back. They lost. Hopefully that doesn't mentally boom them. I just think that they don't play slow enough for Dynamics to be able to take any advantage of what they did with T1 playing their worst game pretty much all year. That is true, Ryan. KT versus T1. This one was sadly harder to predict than I thought. And I was like, oh man, this is gonna be an easy prediction. But then I was like, is it? This might be a little tough now that if I think about it long enough. And why does it say Dragon X versus T? Man, I swear KT has every game wrong on the thing. But yeah, it is going to be. Oh no, that's because I'm looking next week, William. Maybe if you looked at this week, it would be T1 versus KT. I picked T1. I mean, I'm worried that I think T1 could definitely be upset by KT, but I think KT's going to implode on themselves like they always do. It has to be T1 by Raptor, right? Yeah, it has to. We have to believe that T1's able to at least beat KT, right? Sandbox versus Prince. Sandbox, this is just, can you get any better? For Yamato to just come in and just build a morale and just a winning culture around his team. Look at not to say, I mentioned this to Ryan actually. Sandbox does not look great in their wins. There's a lot of hype behind Yamato. Sandbox is losing nearly every objective of every game. You go back and watch every game, they're down 3 Dragon Soul. They're at solo point for the enemy team every single time. They're just finding ways to win. And they're getting that X factor and that confidence. And I feel like that really does come from Yamato and just in general the team being better than what their record is. It's almost like they needed, the thing that Sandbox needed the most was confidence because they had the players to be a decent LCK team, but then they got relegated and it seems like they've been shattered mentally since spring started. So Yamato comes in, they face Team Dynamics, they beat them. Comes in, they have Dynamics, Hanwha, KT, Prince, and then KT again. You praised Team Liquid for that? When have I praised Team Liquid for going through this soul point?
I don't feel like I've ever praised Team Liquid. They find ways to win, but I've been very harsh on them for winning those games. Like, I feel like they've always looked like a pretender to me until this week where they actually stepped it up. Finding ways to win, that was only praised this week because other teams found ways to lose. I've consistently criticized Team Liquid for getting given multiple wins. But in Sandbox's defense, they now have a game against Prince again and another game against KT. I think those are two very winnable series. So all of a sudden, if Yamato comes in, okay, clear number 2 in NA, yes. I never said possible top 10. I said possible top 20 or top 25. Go check the tapes. They're nowhere close to top 10 right now. They're not even in my top 20 right now. They're close to it. We can run them tapes. I know I'm right there. There's no way I said Team Liquid's in top. If I did, that was a misspeak. I misspoke because it was absolutely supposed to be top 20, top 25. But yeah, anyway, Sandbox, they're going to have Damwon, which is going to be a loss. But then they have Prince again, Dynamics again. And then, so like all of a sudden, you could build a winning culture off winning possibly 7 series out of 8. Like that, like you can instantly have your team buy in to your mentality and what you want to do. And if they do that and they have 7 wins, I can easily see this team making playoffs. Like Afrika or T1 would be the team to drop, or Gen G to be honest. But like it's gonna be tough. They're 2 games out still, but it's possible. Ryan, I'll Venmo you $5 if I said top 10, but it needs to be proof. I don't believe it at all. I absolutely believe I said top 20. All right. Ugh. Next game. DRX versus Hanwha Life. Talk about a bounce back after a very shaky week for DRX. They get Hanwha Life as their next game. So that's cool. I'm going to assume you picked DRX. And that's either really funny or sad considering they have Viper and Lehends. I mean, it's sad because Viper and Lehends absolutely look like they belong in the LCK. And not in a negative thing like LCK trash right now. No, they look like they belong in a professional team. The rest of their team looks like they belong in solo queue at best. It's a shame. It's a really damn shame. Afrika versus Damwon. I gotta go Damwon again. Listen, unlike Raptor. Are you considered a pro team when you're in solo queue with your duo partner? Versus 2 AP. Listen, man, the ADC was fed on the enemy team. I don't know if he was or not, but we're just gonna go with it. Oh my god, they're so bad. Hanwha Life is so bad. But yeah, unlike Raptor, I'm disappointed in Damwon for throwing the game, but it made me build confidence that I know they are legit. Like they went back to old Damwon instincts for a little bit there, and they overstepped and they played really stupid macro wise, but their mechanics are still there. And I have to believe that the macro is going to improve down the line. Just their second game from last series. Just check the game from last series. Will do. Sandbox versus KT. Ryan, we are both completely sold on that Yamato hype train.
Like, seriously, we're all in on this guy. Which, to be fair, to me it credits myself for in spring saying I really, really, really wanted to. In spring, I was begging Yamato to come to Team Liquid. Like, I was like, it's going to work. You have 2 Europeans with Jensen and Broxa. Like, his play style of aggressiveness is exactly what Team Liquid needs. Like, they play too slow. I still think they play too slow, but hopefully they play a little they're starting to play a little bit faster, like we mentioned. The crash is gone. I agree. Like I said, I watched some of the highlights from the Sandbox games today, and I'm like, oh shit, this team's winning, but they're not looking great. Very, but so hopefully they keep it up. But like I said, you can build confidence off. Look at Team Liquid; they look terrible, and now they're building that confidence, and they're winning those games, and they're looking better now. Sandbox can do the same thing. I hope. Very, very easy schedule since Yamato's gotten in here. They're going to have a really tough schedule at the end of the split, which is going to be really tough for them to make playoffs. But with that confidence, they might be able to pull an upset. If they could pull just one upset or two, they can maybe sneak into the playoffs. Where are we? T1 versus Gen G. What do you got, Ryan? Ryan, you're a fool. You're a fool. I picked T1. Do I think Gen G is the better team? Yes. Do I think Gen G and T1 is getting super exposed? Yes. Do I think it's possible T1 doesn't make Worlds? Yes. Do I think it's possible they miss playoffs? Yes. Doesn't matter. Gen G, I learned my lesson. Gen G will never be able to beat T1, apparently. Well, exactly like Raptor said, T1 wins because Gen G win trade them. At the week 3, I can't have confidence in Gen G in this matchup. It's like G2 versus Fnatic. You never pick Fnatic. That's how I feel right now about Gen G as well. Maybe Ryan picks up a game off of this, but I've been burnt. I picked T1 when you all picked Gen G before. You're going to taste the dark side there. Good luck. We're all out. Time for game of the week. Prince versus Hanwha Life. You have one team which has not won a single series and it's only won 2 full games, and their 2 wins are when did they win? They won 1 game in They haven't won a game since week 1. They won 1 game against Prince and 1 game against T1. Prince, on the other hand, is 3-15 at a solid 1-7 with 2 wins. One of them, or both of them, coming off Hanwha Life, and 1 wins against Team Dynamic in week 2. Neither of these teams have won a single game, not best of 3, a single game since the first game of week 2. June 24th. Like 10 days from a month ago. Like, that game actually doesn't start till the 19th. It will almost be a full month, assumingly that SP or Hanwha do not win against a game against Sandbox or Dragon X. It will be almost a full month since the last time either of them won a game. And combined, they have 5 game wins, and 3 of them are in the series against each other. So outside of that, they have 2 game wins. These 2 teams are awful. Awful. I would dare to say that teams like Immortals and Dignitas are better than these 2 teams because we've seen a semblance of improvement. This team is like essentially Schalke. We haven't seen any. Schalke got a fluke win against Fnatic, sure, but we really haven't seen any improvement on a day-to-day basis with Schalke. We don't see improvement with Hanwha Life. We see Viper and Lehens carry every game to just get it thrown away by Haru, Canadian Dollar, Kuve, Dudu, Lava, Miru. It doesn't matter. They all end constantly. And then it's the same on Prince. They just all suck. They have freaking Mickey in the mid lane. Hybrid is okay. Actually, I like Hybrid.
But outside of that, nothing else. You can get rid of every single other person. Flawless. What happened to this guy? Like, I liked him on JDG, and then he imploded on JDG, and then they put Levi in, and then Levi sucked on JDG, which I feel like was so unfair because Levi actually played really well. His team just ended around him on those. But ever since then, he's just been terrible. Oh, wow. Who did you pick, Ryan, actually? You picked Prince? Cool. I think I also... I don't know what I picked. This game is such a coin flip. I picked Saturday. Boom, 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 boom. Kitty. Nope, this is Sunday. Sorry, I apologize. I picked Prince. Cool. Don't ask me why. Believe in Mickey? No. Not believing in Mickey. I'm just believing in the Hama Life topside to ent harder than SP is going to. The living coin flip. Is he even a coin flip if he fails 90% of the time? I wouldn't call that a coin flip. Just bad odds. Oh, let's get this over with. It's the reverse Blabber. Yep. Blabber succeeds 90% of the time. Dragon X versus Dynamics. I don't think Dynamics seems like... To me, Dynamics almost seems like a worse Gen G. So facing teams... Unfortunately, having to face teams like Damwon and Dragon X on the same week, it's going to be a rough... Did you say easy Dynamics, Raptor? Please explain. You cut me off right away if I said it. Please explain. Nah, Dragon X are gonna be fine. This is a perfect week. They looked really shaky this week. They stole a win from Damwon, sure, but they looked super shaky. But now they have Hama Life and Dynamics in this week, so it should be a good bounce back week. And Damwon has Dynamics and Freaka, so they have a little bit tougher. Professor Will says, show your process. Yeah, show your work on that one. How did you get to that conclusion? Oh, man. But yeah, that should be all for Korea. It's dicey. It's very dicey in Korea. I mean, teams are not looking great. Teams are really not looking great. I feel like we flame Korea every week. I feel bad. but I mean, if you have the expectations that you should be a world-beating region like the LPL is right now, then you're going to get criticized when you look about as good as NA does. Yeah. When you're looking like, if you turn the nameplates off in Korea and you said the name if this is Korea or NA, and it's tough to tell, that's a problem. Okay, so we're going to do wild card, but this one will legitimately be the fastest wild card of all time because I am falling asleep as we speak. Here's the standings. Here's the predictions of how they went. Pain Gaming, they went 0-2 this week, but they're still 9-3. Vivo 3-9. We have 4 weeks left, but we're looking like a three-way tie here for second. I hope Ents drops out, Faria comes in, maybe Flamingo comes in, and maybe Kaboom drops out or something. I don't know, but that's all for CBLOL. From picking Lee Sin, Olaf, and Tom Kent. Well, we need to stop Tom Kent from being picked in any region, to be fair. And yeah, I agree on the Lee Sin and Olaf. They just don't play aggressive enough to take that pick. You're not allowed that pick if you're not going to be aggressive because you're just going to be useless. Unicorns of Love 8-0, Gambit 7-1, Crow Crowd 5-3, One Breath Gaming 5-3, Dragon Army's 4-4. It's pretty much a three-way tie for a three-way race for 2 spots here. The Rocks, Elements, and Vegas Squadron are not going to get anything done. LJL. I actually never know what the LJL is because it's the only thing on Strafe that we can't pick. V3 is 8-0 and has already sealed a playoff spot because Rascal Jester and Axis are just that bad. DFM, are you kidding me? They lost 2 again? Again? Oh, no. They didn't play this week. Never mind. LJL, we talked about that already. I was like, are you serious? TFM? How? I was like, how are they 4-4? I thought they were on a 2-game losing streak before. Yeah. Yeah, Ryan mentioning how China's just their tier ones are so many levels ahead of the other regions. Like it's unfair when there's like 4 to 5 teams in China, and then there's other like NA has C9 at that level. I mean, EU has Mad Lions and maybe G2 if they get it back together at that level. None of the other teams are going to get it back at that level at the moment. Oh, okay, so let's go to closing season here. LLA. Talk about a clump. All Knights at 6-2. They did lose to Isurus today, which really sucked for my prediction. But Furious Gaming 5-3. Hell yeah, this team is a very good pick on Strafe, by the way. A lot of points. 5-3 on Rainbow Seven. Azul's 4-4. Infinity 4-4. Isurus 4-4. So Isurus is technically out of the playoffs at the moment, and it's still the same team with Adi, Seiya, and them. But they're 1 game out of second place. So I think they will be okay. They did lose to Rainbow Seven earlier this week, but they took down All Knights at the end of the week here, so that was pretty nice. OPL, we got to talk. This is the whole reason I'm doing the Wildcard podcast. What the hell happened? You see this? Does anyone see this? Mammoth took down Legacy and Chiefs. And now you might be, oh, well, that's weird. Well, Mammoth now has 3 wins. And Legacy and Chiefs, before the Chiefs actually had a 2-game losing streak this week, they are number 2. They're usually always fighting for number 2, number 1. And they're always the Cinderella. They're always second place in every single finals. For the number 1 team in the season, and they always fail in the finals pretty much. Direwolves and Order coming up with a 4 and a 5-game win streak, so they're looking really hot right now. Legacy and Chiefs both going 0-2 this week. It's kind of shocking, especially considering they both face Mammoth. Mammoth's 3-9 now. I don't think we can call them the worst team in the world anymore. Gravados maybe takes that at 1-11. Maybe Vega Squadron, but it's not Mammoth. Mammoth has moved on up. They are away from that worst team in the world thing that they always used to have. The PCS, we got J Team at 9-1, Talon at 7-2. Here's the rest. I'm about to fall asleep. Here are the games if you care. TCL. I can't even get excited for my wild cards. I'm so tired. Istanbul Wildcats. I'm very. By the way, I'm not that big of a Discord user. But do you guys have one group? I could make a group. I should make a group for Discord. for us to just discuss league stuff. I really should do that. I'll get on that tomorrow. I'll let you know. Istanbul, and I'll probably link it in the stream and stuff, because that would be a fun thing to do, to get people just a Discord purely to discuss League, basically. I have my own like friends private one, but that's not really for discussing League. That's more, but we'll make one for discussing League. Istanbul Wildcats at 7-2 or 10-2. Galacticos, why the hell are they 9-3 now? I don't care. They're awesome. Like, good job. They were always bottom feeders, but now they're not. Everyone here, look at losing just 2 games has moved all of a sudden super massive all the way down to 6th place. Damn. I'll send this if you want to send me your Discord info.
on Twitch. I'll add you after this. All right, and I'll just wrap up quickly with VCS. VCS, nope, that's summer promotion. Summer season, Cerberus is still 6-0 with a 12-1 record. They did lose a game to Buffalo, which Buffalo are currently 1-5, so them losing a game was kind of shocking. Overpowered was also one. Overpowered to win their first game. Yeah, they did against Buffalo, but that's the only game they've won. Percent 2-4, Evos to 2-4, Gam at 4-2. It's all the way tied. Flash and Secret also 4-2. Cerberus looking legit. Where's my Big Carl? Damn, they're on a 3-game losing streak with Big Carl. They started out 2-1, but they're 2-4 now. Unfortunate. Okay, let's just move straight on to the top 10, global top 10. The thing I spoiled in the first The thing I spoiled in the first podcast that I had to end 1 minute into it because I took and just showed Ryan's top 10 right at the beginning of the stream, and that was not nice. That would have ruined everything. All right, so this is July 13th. Nope, it's the 12th. 7 p.m. Gotcha. I will read it after this. Okay, so let's pull up Ryan's top 10, which I have here, so I don't need to pull it up on there. Okay. So, number 10 for me is IG. They've snuck back in. Don't know how they do it, but they keep winning their games. Sounds bad for me putting them in the top 10. They don't look like a top 10 team, I'll tell you that. But they keep winning their games, and it's in a high competitive region. Anytime you win games in the LPL, they'll fall out in this form. Yeah, they will. They keep doing it. Look at like we have IG10, IG10, IG dropped out. IG's back up in 9th. IG's back out. IG's back up in 10th. They keep going up and down, up and down. They're like bobbing between about 9th and 15th place. They can't find a way to stay in the top 10. Maybe this time will be different, but they keep showing up as blue on the list. Ryan also has IG in the top 10. They're not blue. He had them top 9 last week, but he has them at 10th as well. The Chinese TL. Don't mock me. It's tougher for IG to find ways to win in China than compared to Team Liquid to find ways to win in NA. That's why it gets a little bit more credit. But damn, they're a frustrating team. Number 10. For both of us, Ryan, I didn't even look at yours until just now. I have LGD as my number 9. Ryan also has LGD at number 9. We can't have the same predictions, sir. Tense. Shut up. LGD has fallen for both of us. They're 5th for you, 6th for me. I thought they played JDG fine. Copying the test is going to be an F for both of you. I thought they were going to be fine after the JDG loss. I thought it was a competitive game. And then they just didn't. They beat OMG, but their win against OMG actually cost them more in my eyes than their loss against JDG. I don't know, man. LGD is similar to FunPlus, where they gotta start winning games eventually, or else in China is a very competitive region where you're gonna miss playoffs if you keep losing. You might be in our top 10 in the world, but if you might be in top 10 in the world and miss playoffs. It's that competitive. All right, number 8 for me is C9. Which is the same as last week. Number 8 for Ryan is C9. So, cool. They stayed the same for me. Oh, they went down for Ryan. Let's change that. There we go. They stayed the same. They did drop that game, the hiccup to, if you keep losing, you are not in playoffs 5. I know, man. That's what they don't pay me to do the stream, but if they did, that's what they would pay me for. Those kind of hot takes. C9, you lost to 100 Thieves. It wasn't a pretty loss whatsoever, but it was a best of one. We give other teams a lot of, like, we let it slide. I'll let this one slide as well. Like, it's okay. It's an okay loss. 100 Thieves are also looking really on the up and up, too. So, it's not terrible, but you can't keep losing, obviously. If you're in a weaker region like NA, losing costs more than it does in China. Because you're not losing to teams like Top or FunPlus or JDG. You're losing to teams that would have, I would have been more surprised of an 18-0. Yeah, exactly. Then dropping 1, 2, 3 games. Yep, dropping usually 1 to 3 games in a best of one in a region is totally fine. Number 7. Okay, we're finally different. No, we're not. Damn it. Number 7. I read it wrong. Number 7. Mad for both of us. Mad stays the same for me. They didn't play this week. We don't have any updated news. They just kind of stayed the same with some teams moving up on them, some teams moving below them. Mad actually went down for Ryan because he's added a few teams into his list. We're riding a fine line after losing the Sunday, but they're set versus OMG dropped them. If C9 would have won today, I was considering pushing them above the Koreans. That is true. That is true. Number 6 for Ryan is Damwon Gaming. For me is Victory 5. Just based off of gameplay. Just wait. Victory 5 has moved. So Damwon has moved up in Ryan's rankings all the way from number 10 to number 6. I'm sure Raptor feels so good about that one. They've moved up 4 spots. I am not as disheartened as Raptor is. V5 top 5. Unfortunately not. For me, V5 is in the number 6 spot for me. But they're moving on up. If they can beat Top, then they're going way up the chart. We're talking probably number 2, if not number 1. But they're going to have to pull it off. They're a team similar. They're not as bad as LGD is in the scenario, but I really want to see them really solidify one of these wins against a team that's towards the top of the standings. Outside of RNG. They took down RNG, which was really good. But like they need one more on a step above that for me. But they're top 6 in the world. Can't go bad with that, in my opinion. Especially from where you were in Spring Split. AKA 44th in the world, 47th in the world. Alright. Number 5 for... Oh, no. Wait. I got to put Damwon where mine is. And Damwon is exactly at number 5, so I guess it doesn't matter. It's where they were before. They've gone down a little bit. I see this Damwon team as a very, very good team. Just one bad series against DRX, which they could have had. It started out good, but then, some poor decision making, which is a Damwon special, to be fair. It's Damwon's kind of leaked out to the rest of the LCK, but Damwon, to me, is still a very legit team and a world's contending team. They just had a bad. It wasn't super bad against DRX. It was just some bad macro mistakes against DRX. Their mechanics are still insane. If C9 bounces back the next week and Matter and G2 come out strong in DRX, Damwon show me more. The West will rise. That is true. I think I'm going to put a lot more Western teams in. If Korea starts faltering even more, it might only be Damwon. Hell, I'm sure you've noticed T1 is not in our top 10 for either of us anymore. They weren't in Ryan's top 10. They were my number 10 team. They are out of the top 10 now, easily, for me. Ryan's number 5 team is DRX. Oof. That is a rough fall from number 2 for them. And pretty much because of that loss to KT, I'm assuming they did beat Damwon. It was a little bit with forced errors. I was ahead of the game again, dropping T1 last week. Yeah, you were. You were. Once we're dropping DRX all the way down to number 5. Just very disappointing week in general with the loss to KT and like an ugly, ugly game against Damwon, I'm assuming. I mean, 'cause, yeah, you can be honest, they didn't really deserve to beat Damwon at the same time. They just kind of got ahead with Damwon making boneheaded macro plays. Lost to KT and we're spoon-fed games with Damwon. Yep. That makes sense. That's why, for me, personally, DRX have dropped to number 3. I couldn't drop them as hard as you did because I just felt like they still beat Damwon, so they still got the win, but they lost to KT and that did deserve punishment. All right. For Ryan, or that means for our number, I can't put Damwon ahead, but I'm not keeping DRX at the tip top based on that shit. Okay, that's fair. That's fair. For me, number 4 is FunPlus Phoenix, which, again, sounds weird. When you look at the record, they are literally not in the playoffs for summer. FunPlus Phoenix, if the playoffs ended, or the season ended today, FunPlus Phoenix we have in the top 4 in the world. Top 4 in the entire world out of all regions. When they can't even make playoffs in their own region at the moment. They're getting on thin ice at the moment. They're staying there because, like Ryan said, they're beating good teams. They're looking fairly good. But they're also dropping a lot of random games. That punishment's going to have to start coming out real soon. Like, real soon. Who do FunPlus Phoenix have left to play? That's a good question, actually. FunPlus Phoenix has Rogue Warriors and JDG. JDG's a really big test this week. But Rogue Warrior should be easy. OMG, EDG, 2 wins. Should be 2 wins. LGD is a tough test. And Sunning and DMO. So you have 2 hard games of JDG and LGD. You have 4 free games of Rogue Warriors, OMG, EDG, and DMO. And then you have that sneaky Sunning game on the last day of the season. The very last day of the season, you got that sneaky little Sunning. That could make or break FPX, depending on how the rest of the teams play out. We'll have to find out. You have FPX still up in the 2nd spot. I believe you've actually risen them, even though they've gone up, even though they lost to Vici and they lost to Top. But they did play Top hard, like you said, which is why they only dropped 1 spot for me after an 0-2 week. Your number 4 team is JDG, so I was on the ball on this one with JDG moving on up. I moved them all the way up to number 5 last week. I have them all the way up to back to the number 2 team in the world, which is exactly where they were at the beginning of the season for me, or beginning of the split, I should say. I think they've deserved their spot back up there. They really did start out shaky. They started out shaky, and now they are on a 6-game winning streak. The only team with a higher winning streak is Top in the LC or the LPL, and I think and JDG does not have to face Top anymore. They have FunPlus Phoenix, they have LNG, Billy, Vici Gaming, E-Star, V5, OMG. So they have a bunch of easy wins outside of FunPlus and V5. That's it. If they can beat FunPlus this week, they have pretty much V5 out, and then they'll just win out for the rest of the split. So I think this team is going to be a threat at Worlds. I don't think they're going to be a threat to Top, which just goes to show how high Top is compared to everyone else. But that means I forgot to put these guys in for you, Ryan. When I put V5 as my number 6 team, you have V5 as your number 3 team. They've moved on up. You want it so badly. I get it. Like, because, yeah, we both have Top esports. Like, we got them number 1, like always. Like, but someone has to break them, you know? like, it's literally, if V5 doesn't break them, we're pretty much going to be sitting here. Global top 10, week 1, Top esports. Global week 2, Top. week 3, top. Week 4, top. 5, top. 6, top. It's just going to be top all the way down until we get to Worlds, and we're just going to find out if top really is this best team, which, frankly, they probably are. Like, let's be real. V5 goes to number 1 if they beat top. That's fair. They probably, for me, they probably legitimately go to number 2. They beat top, they're going to number 2. Who is Victor V5? They have 2 losses. That's arguably that they can go to number 1 at that point, which is insane. 47th to 1st in 1 fucking split is absurd. It's absolutely absurd. This is literally like, imagine that Jin Air team just became one of the best teams in the world the next split. They barely lost to LGD and Fumbles Phoenix. I know. I just thought about that. Like, they would easily be number 2. And I don't know if I can knock top off after 1, depending on how the series went. If Victory 5 came in smash top, sure. But, like, Victory 5 has a damn good strength of defeat. Like, their strength of loss is pretty strong. Like, this team is for real. Any of these top 10 teams outside of IG, who you never know, but like the top 9 are teams that are absolutely for real. And I think IG, once G2 gets back on track, I'm gonna be so thankful because I can just throw IG out of here probably and not have to deal with them anymore. They'll just be floating around 15th to 11th. But yeah, this week actually not that for every week since week 2, where we only had a few teams play in week 2. I believe we only had did we only have the LPL teams play in that first week? But outside of that, you had 4, I had 3, you had 2 differences, I had 2, then I had 2, and you had 2 as well. This week, there's only 1 total. Me putting IG back into number 10 is the only team that wasn't in the top 10 last week that's in it this week. And the only team that dropped out was T1 for me. So, that being said, I feel like the top 10 is starting to maybe solidify a little bit better because there was a lot of flopping all over the place here. So hopefully it's getting a little more solidified. We're starting to pan out halfway through the season, halfway through LPL, halfway through LEC, halfway through NA, and this week will be the halfway point for the LCK. We're starting to really see who these real true contenders are for Worlds at the moment. Who knows? They could drop. It's still halfway through the season. You still have half a season to play. But I think we know for sure top's for real. We know that JDG is rising back up, but we'll see if Victory 5 is going to be right up there. I mean, we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 of the top 10 teams are Chinese teams, and there's a reason for that. Like, if you don't watch the LPL, there's a reason that 6 of these top 10 teams are in the LPL, and why Ryan said the LPL is so many light years just above the rest of the world. And that's not even we're including teams in our top 4 that are in 9th. That's not including teams like Royal Never Give Up, Vici Gaming, who's apparently surging right now, Sunning, Team WE. Those are all other teams that could argue for a top 15 spot. So, that will be all, I guess, because we're at 2 minutes, 47 seconds. This podcast is about 4 hours shorter than last week's. Much quicker. Should upload so much faster than Twitch. But with that being said, thank you for coming. I actually appreciate it, Ryan and Raptor, because I am super tired, as you can tell, and I cannot wait to go to bed. Next week we'll be back to a normal podcast. I won't be gone for the weekend. I'll be able to catch up, and Ryan will probably also be here as well. So hopefully we have some interesting games. We do have a few differences, Ryan. We'll see how they play out. Good night, guys.